He's going to be really good.
Mia O'Brien.
One of those bugs just flew in my eye.
And Leon Searcy.
Somebody has to go on the crowd.
Wednesday, hump day, a day away from you Jaguars getting back on the football field, or a night away anyway. With Thursday night football, we welcome you in. Golf Club of Southampton bringing you today's show. We got all sorts of things cooking with your Jaguars. The injuries are the biggest concern that we will keep our eye on throughout the day, looking at that injury report a little bit later on. But it'll be a travel day for your Jaguars getting ready for the Saints tomorrow night. As we start our show, that line, exactly, besides getting on a plane, that line has moved from 3 down to 1. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are just a 1-point dog as of earlier today. We're going to see whether that thing changes or not, where it goes, but that's telling me one very important thing. They ain't crazy about Derek Carr leading the New Orleans Saints to a dub. So we'll stay on that. We got college football, our top 5 in college, our top 5 in the NFL. That adds up to 10 right here on 1010 that we will do throughout the day. We got so much to get into, people.
Well, that 1-point line, Joe, also says to me, 16's playing.
Mm-hmm.
I know there have been reports that the Saints camp fully expects it, that any sort of chestnut checkers, by the way.
Yeah.
Apparently, some of our listeners thought I said chestnut checkers yesterday.
I kind of like that. You might be able to brand chestnut checkers and sell them.
Call me a Yankee.
For
it's
the
all
holidays?
good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Also,
chestnut checkers.
I always thought that was odd that, like,
stop.
hey, Doug is, like, playing chess because he's also making the Saints have to worry about C.J. Beathard.
gotta
Like,
plan for
I don't
CJ,
know
man.
if they were actually doing a lot of scouting
I think
on
what it is,
C.J. Beathard.
whenever you're doing that, you're basically not saying, hey, prepare for CJ. Basically, just we're going to take it as far as we can that Trev's going to be our man, that he's going to be playing. And then if he's not, then obviously we're at lesser strength. But I do believe 16's playing.
Well, it was just hilarious because Doug was so noncommittal. He defers everything to Ferg on Monday. And then yesterday, the first thing that C.J. Beathard says is, well, it's still very likely that Trevor's going to play. And then Trevor goes to the podium and goes, oh, I'm optimistic. I'm going to play.
All right. Well, by the way, when did Ferg have his press conference? Because it did make it, like
Great
we were
guy,
all,
Ferg, if you haven't met him. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Great guy.
But we were all joking that you would, that you would be able to go right to him and ask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is actually probably. I put him in the top 5 of listeners of 1010, by the way.
Yeah, which
Big
is good.
1010 listener, which we love.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Again,
Is he higher up than Dolphin Gary?
Oh, Dolphin Gary.
I mean, he's definitely top 5.
Yeah, he is. He's also a big listener. No, it's I don't know. The whole situation. It just felt like Doug was trying to create a smokescreen that just didn't exist.
Well, no, I don't mind it at all. It's just, in other words, I'm going to diffuse and deflect and put it off until I have to answer to it, or I have to put out an injury report. I really didn't mind it at all, but I did laugh. And this, I'm so used to the Herb saying, that's a Bev and Bernie question, and so whenever I heard Ferg, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, where are we going here? But I'm expecting Trevor Lawrence to be under center. And, Leon, as you did the cross with Jaguars today, I don't think it limits the playbook too much because your ground game is there. Obviously, if they can block up front, then he's going to be able to do most of what he is used to doing.
Yeah, well, listen, organizationally, we're in no position to be taking games off, all right? I mean, essentially, if you don't play Trevor, you're essentially saying you're not giving this team the best opportunity to win. Yeah. Trevor gives us the best opportunity to win. Now, it's going to be incumbent upon the offensive line to protect. You got to take this personally. You know your guy's not 100%. You know he just came through an injury. You know you're playing a very tough opponent, very defensive savvy opponent is going to get after it pretty good. Offensive line's got to be clean. All 5 guys got to be clean. Can't have no breakdowns and protection. Now it's going to be Press Taylor and Doug Peterson are going to have to strategize some plays to where you roll the protection with Trevor to the left, roll it to the right. I would limit the opportunities of Trevor's being in the pocket, sort of say, unless he's getting rid of the football a lot quicker. I mean, because we don't know the severity of the need. The players are always going to tell you, Coach, I'm good. You always got to decide on caution.
All right, so I like what you said because you said they can still move the pocket.
Yeah, you can roll,
which means
you can roll the protection.
Yeah, which means he can move a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You can roll the protection. When I was back in my day, it was called rip and Liz protection.
Yeah.
Okay, rip. Everybody sliding to the right,
right,
and the quarterback rolls with it. Liz protection. Everybody sliding to the left, roll the protection to the left. So, I mean, if you can do those kind of plays where he rolls out and get rid of the ball real quick, that kind of stuff.
Sounds like the electric slide.
Yeah, well, it could be.
You
It
get
could
on the
be.
dance
That's
floor
what we
with
felt
strobe light
like. That's what
working.
we felt like.
Yeah,
It's got a little slide.
It does, you know, to the left,
ribbon
to the
lives.
left, to the right, to the right.
I like that. But I guess the one thing I'm saying to you is that just because he has this injury and maybe will be wearing a brace, he still can move.
Yeah, he still can move. He can still scramble, whatever. And listen, I always look at this game like this because I don't want to be 2 months down the road and look back at this game and say, man, I wish that game could have gave us. Because you look at, listen, the AFC power rankings is this. It's KC, Dolphins, Jags, all right? We are chasing those two. They're a game better than us because we lost one extra game. So we're the third. Right now, we said the 3 seed. You win this game, something happens between those two because they got to play. Something happens between those two. You're the two. You win. Right now, we're competing for the number 1 seed, and that's all it's all about. Getting the road to the Super Bowl has to come through Jacksonville. That's what you want.
And going back to kind of your mantra all along is that you don't want to have that game early in the year that you look back and wish you'd had. And Matt, they dropped that one to the Houston Texans. That's the game that they wish they would have had. You know, they could be a 5-1 club right now. And I'm not saying even a luxury then, but they would have been tied at the top of the AFC if they hadn't dropped that game. Now every one of these games is hugely important.
Yeah, I mean, every game is a moment unto itself, and I know everybody always laughs when they hear coaches say, we're just 1-0. We're just looking at 1-0. But that's kind of the reality of it. That's the only way you can stay focused on what you have to do that week. And that's not just sports. It's life. If you've got like a big project you got to do, or if you're getting ready to run a 5K like Mia is, you focus on that. You know what I mean? And then deal with that. And then everything else we'll deal with down the road. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big game. It's a big game, and whether Trevor Lawrence plays or not, I still think they can win even if C.J. Beathard plays. But you've got to – it's like Leon says, you've got to be clean. The operation's got to be smooth. You can't turn the ball over, and you've got to just do what you do best. Focus on what you do best.
Yeah. I look right now, I look at some numbers because I'm doing my breakdown that we'll post on social. And Derek Carr is hearing some boo birds, and we'll hear them in the Superdome tomorrow night if he doesn't get it done. If you go back and take a look, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he threw 0 touchdowns. Against the New England Patriots, he threw 2 touchdowns. Against the Houston Texans, he threw a touch and a pick. And so he is averaging 1 touchdown per game the last 3 games, and it's kind of gone in a bad direction after shutting out New England and looking great. He didn't do nearly enough. And so his numbers right now are only 5 touchdowns and 3 picks. He's thrown for a little over close to 1,300 yards. But his completion percentage ain't great. And so I think they're doubting him just a little bit. Like there's a chatter about whether or not he's picking up his reads at the line of scrimmage, whether they're getting the play call in on time. That could lead to a little dysfunction, a little discussion in that offensive meeting.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Coach Caldwell is looking at the film and saying, "Hey, listen, we can rattle this guy. We can rattle this guy's cage because he hasn't been consistent. He hasn't been turning the ball over. And what this defense does is that we capitalizes on your mistakes. So let's see. I mean, this. Listen, it's a fast track. We got some speed. We got some demons outside that can get after the pass rusher. Their tackles are nothing really impressive. You know, you can get after this team on the outside, maybe interiorly. I think defensively we're going to do a solid job against them. Now I know they got Kamara, and I know they got Mike Thomas is back. He's still playing with
healthier.
He's healthier now. But I mean, those are just names. They don't scare you like they may have scared you 5 years ago. I think this defense is going to be up for the challenge, and I think if they show the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks, they should dominate this offense.
Yeah, one of the guys that you should worry about is Olave because he can.
Oh, yeah, Olave. I forgot they got him from Ohio State.
He can get it going, and if Carr is going to kind of get right, he's going to have that type of weapon that he's going to be able to count on to get the ball to.
And let's also talk about the guy that is getting a lot of hype, which is Raheed Shaheed. I believe I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
Who is a guy that I don't think a lot of people were expecting to really emerge for the Saints, although obviously – between Callaway and some of the other names that have emerged over the past few years, especially when Michael Thomas has been hurt.
Aren't they?
Right, but Raheed Shaheed is the slot receiver. And, I mean, they also drafted A.T. Perry, who was the apple of a lot of Jaguar fans' eyes. They still have Lynn Bowden, who's a gadget-type player. So they have weapons on offense, even if their tight end room is pretty banged up outside of Taysom Hill. which, oh yeah, don't forget, he is still there, and Lord knows what he can do. So that's the part that'll be curious for me. That's the one question mark I have. I don't have question marks about Trevor Lawrence starting. I know that's a hot take. I don't. For me, it is Buster Brown stepping in for Tyson Campbell, the opposition having footage of him from last week, Leon, and how they can exploit him and how Gardner Minshew picked on him a little bit in the second half, and trying to scheme up getting some of those elusive playmakers matched up against him.
Yeah, I mean, as a defensive coordinator, you know the guys who need help, and you're not going to leave him out there on the island. You're just not going. I mean, you've got to play bracketed coverages where you mix and match between man and zone, and Buster Brown, you probably gonna have to roll. You probably gonna have to help him out a little bit. I mean, I would, because I mean, you're not gonna put him one-on-one on Olave. That's not going to happen. You're gonna have to roll. You have to roll the coverage to wherever Olave is going to be. Everybody else could probably go single man, but he's going to need some help, I would think.
Yeah, and we're talking about inexperience and versus true experience. Campbell, I think the it's kind of like that WAR stat, wins above replacement in baseball. And so if you have a weakness on that side, every coach is going to try and exploit it. That's just what they do. They find out where your weakest link is, and they attack it. And they wear that dude out if they can. And so that's what they'll try and do. Coach Campbell and I did our podcast yesterday, and he's talking about the possibility of Trey Herndon maybe sliding outside, and we'll see exactly where they go. Antonio Johnson, if he's healthy, if that hamstring is good enough to where they can actually call on him to be good in nickel coverage. Who knows whether or not they put him out there and change it up a little bit. That's changing two spots, though, in your secondary. A little risky there.
I mean, also, we saw what happened last year when they insisted on, hey, Darius Williams is the nickel. We're going to keep him in the nickel, and we're going to add Trey Herndon because Shaq Griffin went down. So I understand the school of thought of you don't want to shake up two defensive spots. Obviously, last year they had to. So Mike Caldwell has proven in the past that he doesn't want to shake up multiple positions if he can just plug and play somebody. So I would expect Trey Herndon to still stay in the nickel. And obviously, again, haven't had to call his name all that much. Hasn't been burned. If anything, we've called his name when he's come in on blitzes, which he's really good at from that nickel spot, and creates pressure.
Yeah.
And he had a nice little breakup on Kelsey, too, in that game against KC. And I was concerned.
Better yet, Leon, Antonio Johnson's back. If you go back to Andre Sisco's pick, which in the moment, I actually looked at our boy Gus Logue next to me in the press box, and I said, wait a second.
Oh, Gustus.
Andre Sisco got the pick. But then celebrating with him were Daniel Thomas and Antonio Johnson. And Rayshon Jenkins was also on the field at the time. So that's the other part of this. You could always bring in one of those safeties if you wanted to crowd the box and play them in the slot. We know about what Antonio Johnson did at Texas A&M, and now that he's healthy, and Doug Peterson said they're going to slowly continue to integrate him into this defense, you bring him in if you need that help.
Yeah, 3 safety look. Why not?
Yeah, not impossible.
Not impossible.
And I haven't drilled down on their tight end game. We mentioned Taysom because he's the do everything, the Swiss Army knife of the Saints. But yeah, you start looking at the possibilities, the combinations. That's a big nickel, a dime, however you want to describe it. Dewey has been in there at times with Cisco, with Rayshon. Both Cisco and Rayshon are playing at a pretty high level. Not like you want to get them off the field, but yeah, some of those sub packages, they can figure out what they can do. All right, now we always ask you guys, jump in on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. What do you see? What do you like? What are you looking for tomorrow night that you think will deliver a dub? You can definitely do that, 641-1010, or YouTube. All you got to do is go to YouTube, search 1010XL where you're streaming live, and we would love to hear from you there.
This is the Yahoo Pop-Off Chat line. Yahoo!
So jump in on our conversation there. Now, I'm going to get JJ to pull up the sideline video and see if we can play a little bit of it where Derek Carr just basically goes off on his offense, and most people think it's directed at Pete Carmichael, the offensive coordinator. He said he was talking to him instead of talking about him, this type of stuff. Anyway, Derek Carr had to come out and apologize about this. So just imagine, and let's just play the game. Trevor Lawrence is not delivering. You lost his mount up on the record. He's frustrated. And Press Taylor, who's now been charged with calling plays. Can you just visualize T-Law and Press Taylor getting into it on the sidelines? Well, right now things are going great, so you really can't picture that. But Derek Carr and Pete Carmichael, things ain't going great. And they have a defensive head coach in Dennis Allen. So Pete Carmichael's the guy he's going to look directly to Pete Carmichael, by the way, used to be here in Jacksonville going back in time. But we'll try and pull that video up and just get a little bit of a sense of what's going on there. We might be catching the New Orleans Saints right now in a little bit of strife on Bourbon Street.
Well, I think they're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it, because they've kind of become the Indianapolis Colts of the South, in that they just keep trying to patchwork, bringing in veteran quarterbacks and hoping that combining that with an elite defense and playmakers on the outside and Alvin Kamara, that will lead to wins. And I think we all looked at the NFC South coming into this season and we thought, yeah, that actually probably could be a winning formula. But now the Bucs are playing well. We obviously
better.
know what's happening in Carolina. The Falcons were a preseason darling. They're sitting at 3-3, so they're kind of at a crossroads, but we've seen what that defense can do. And so, yeah, I think this is a big game for the Saints because they're 3-3. The Falcons are 3-3.
Yeah.
The Bucs are 4-2, right?
They've dropped. No, I think they're 3-3 also.
Yeah, they're 3-3.
So there you
they
go.
lost to the Lions.
If
yeah.
all three teams are 3-3, that division's still up for grabs. And if your offensive coordinator and your quarterback are fighting, well,
I love
mean,
it.
and that kind of hints where you could be headed.
And I'm joking around because the last time Derek Carr did not either did not get along with his coaching staff or did not have the results the coaching staff wanted, what did he do? He got benched, and he pouted, and he packed his stuff up and said, I'm out of here. And that was in Las Vegas, what was that, week?
10 months ago?
Yeah.
12,
yeah.
Close to 10 months ago.
Because I'm thinking there might have been 3 weeks left in the season. I can't quite remember if it was 2 or 3 weeks left, but he said, I don't want to be a distraction. I'm out of here because he knew he wasn't getting his money. He had all that guaranteed money that was going to be there if he was on the roster, I think by January 30th, and he said, they're not going to – they're not going to keep me around. I'm getting the hell out of here.
There's another thing that he has to be concerned with. He got the bag.
Yeah.
All right. So he's got the bag and he's not playing well. There's some flutters of conversation going on in that locker room.
Yeah.
Especially on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah.
We paid this guy.
Yeah.
Really?
You better believe it.
I'm just saying that the dissension in the locker. I've been in locker rooms where they pay a guy he's not playing well. I ain't gonna say no names, but you could probably figure what I'm talking about. But they paid him well and he didn't perform up to task.
Yeah.
It's flutters of conversation in the locker room.
At
like
3-3, you think there already might be dissension?
They might
especially if
already-
the defense is playing. If the defense is getting it done and the offense isn't efficient and not scoring touchdowns or getting points or whatever, and they're losing games they shouldn't be losing, and the defense is holding par. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, in other words,
that's a road game against a team that can play defense.
Oh,
A
yeah,
team
they can
that's-
play.
They can
Oh,
get
yeah.
after the quarterback
Oh, yeah.
and they can cover.
Yeah.
So that's
But
a
I think
gonna be a
what-
difficult game. Man.
yeah, it's going to be difficult.
well, what Search might be saying and what I'm kind of suggesting is that if you know you ain't got the guy, you'll know it early. And you say 6 games into the season, you probably got a pretty good idea of whether this dude's going to carry you to where you want to go or not.
Yeah, you do. You still have hope. You still have hope because you're tied for the division right now, right?
Yeah, because it's a
you're tied
gettable
for
division.
the
Yes.
But at some particular point, if your side of the ball is getting it done, and your lack of productivity on the offensive side is not getting it done, and you're losing games that you shouldn't be losing. Yeah, guys, there's whispers. Now, there's not shouting. There's whispers.
They lost at the Texans. Texans are a pretty good team right now. I think we have to admit that and embrace that. Do we
I
not?
can never say that, but go ahead.
They're not a bad team.
No, they're not.
Stroud is
but-
playing well.
But here's the one thing that in other words, the Texans have delivered blows to both of these schedules. They beat Jacksonville right here at the bank, and then they beat New Orleans after shutting out New England at home, and they only gave up 13 points. That's what led to all this offensive consternation in the Crescent City because they couldn't get anything going. It looked pitiful. And I think that's why they're probably a little frustrated with it. Yeah, you can give D'Amico Ryans and all those guys credit. C.J. Stroud finally threw a pick. He had gone a long, long time before he threw one. But they have done some good things down there in Houstontown. But it still doesn't explain away that Derek Carr is drifting back to mediocrity. There was a time when he was a Pro Bowler. He had the highest completion percentage. He had touchdown interception ratio that was pretty solid. He's drifting further and further away from good and closer and closer to average or mediocre, however you want to
2
describe
weeks
it.
ago when they won 38-0 at the Patriots, he had 2 tuds, no interceptions, completed almost 70% of his passes.
Yeah. Well, and again,
I just think we're panicking too soon with Derek Carr, and that's all.
Oh, listen.
It's just an adjustment right now.
I like to let people know before it happens that it's happening. Okay, I like to let them know before. But the New England Patriots are already a bad story by themselves.
No doubt.
And so what they're doing, and by the way, you just look around the National Football League, this last Sunday include Sunday night, we saw undefeated teams or teams with 1 or 2 losses, the teams at the top, struggle against the hapless bunch.
Yeah.
Add the New York Giants and what they almost did to the Buffalo Bills, and add what it took Josh Allen them in the fourth quarter to get back in that game. They trailed in that game. And then, of course, the 49ers lost, and then the Eagles lost. Anything can happen in the National Football League every single Sunday and sometimes on a Thursday night as well. That's for sure. All right, a little college football because we got to start cranking out our Power 5 in the college game and in the NFL game. The big games this weekend. We're looking at unbeaten teams. We're trying to figure out who's who. You got the big, massive matchup with the Nittany Lions, with the Buckeyes. You got FSU and Duke. We're going to say a little Irish Fell coming up a little bit later on. We like to smell upsets around here. We like to throw bold predictions. Matty, you got an early lean because you picked Pitt over Louisville last week.
Yeah, you spot on, bro.
Yeah,
That was easy.
knocking them off. And so I'm looking around. I'm trying to sniff out one just to kind of see where we are with our college football game. But there are definitely some big ones that will help kind of shape the picture of our college football world heading into.
I'll give you one.
Which one?
I'll give you one right now.
Okay.
Ole Miss at Auburn.
You like Auburn?
As a possible
Auburn might win that game.
upset?
Yeah.
No way.
There's no way they could score.
No way they can score without Ole Miss.
Doesn't matter, man. They got a good defense, and it's a road game.
Mm-hmm.
That's a difficult game for
Doesn't
them.
It's a
Auburn
good environment.
not have a quarterback?
You got a couple.
Yeah, they got 17
They have a
of them.
couple
Yeah,
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They've been
Is
running.
that better than one?
They got a couple, and neither one of
Never.
them's good, but,
Yeah, because they would throw I'm trying to think of the starter's name, and then they would run the runner out there. Why am I drawing a blank on these?
John Reese Plumlee?
Yeah, no. on the
Robbie
two.
Ashford.
Yeah, Robbie
Well,
Ashford.
Peyton Thorne actually is a runner now,
Yeah,
too. He's
other
running,
yeah,
too.
yeah. Peyton Thorne was the guy that started, and then Ashford would get these sub packages, and he would go out there and he'd run it around. War Eagle, they were all going crazy. So at home, they are a bit tougher to beat. Now they just got pants by LSU, Tiger on Tiger crime, Saturday night.
6.5.
Wait, I'll
points.
give you
6.5
one.
points. That is kind of a small number.
That's the same as it was with Pitt last
Clemma.
week, I think.
yeah.
Going
yeah.
into Coral Gate. It's not Coral Gate. It's North Miami.
Mhm.
Going into Miami.
It's actually Miami,
Basically
Miami
Lauderdale,
Gardens.
yeah.
Miami Gardens. What about Clemson doing what? Coming in the house?
Miami might win that
Miami's
game.
like a
Oh,
4-point
yeah, of course we
dog,
will.
I believe.
Well,
Of course we will. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying?
what I said.
Leon,
Jesus.
inform the audience why Miami has a shot because they have a special ceremony going on.
Yeah, they have a special ceremony, the Ring of Honor. Two of the legendary coaches that listen. My career is based. I had the career I had because of the coaches I was coaching. Jimmy Johnson, Dennis Erickson, Bill Cowher, Tom Coughlin. Some pretty
Those
good
are
guys.
pretty good
good
guys.
guys, real. So Jimmy Johnson and Dennis Erickson is going to the Ring of Honor this game for Clemson this Saturday.
Are you going down?
No, I'm not going down, but I'm looking
Did
for.
they ask you to talk to the team?
I'll never do it again. But I'm looking forward to getting one of my former coaches on here Friday to talk about the
Yeah,
ceremony.
that'd be cool. It'll be
Very
very
nice.
cool. And we won't even refer to him as substitute teacher. We promise. We won't.
I know.
Not at all. Not at all. All right, we get it going. Golf Club of Southampton. They got it going on every day of the week. 287 play if you want to head on out and enjoy the great golf course, the surroundings, the people, all sorts of good things going on. You're planning a tournament, definitely look into them. You want to become a member, definitely look into the Golf Club of Southampton. And don't forget, a little Friday night patio, action, music, great food. It's all happening every Friday night under the stars at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
It's a heavyweight showdown in the SEC. It's number 11 Alabama and number 17 Tennessee.
Saturday at 3 on 1010XL, Jacksonville's college football station.
Mia here. Are you searching for your next great ride? Then I've got great news for you. Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has just announced an unbeatable inventory of over 500 used vehicles all in one place. Need a budget-friendly option? Arlington has cars under $18K. Maybe you need something for the whole family. Arlington has over 200 SUVs to choose from. Gotta have a pickup truck? Arlington Pre-Owned has over 100 waiting just for you. But what if you really need a new ride but you're really worried about your credit? Don't be. At Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, $500 down gets almost everyone approved. Even better, right now get no payments until January 2024. That's right, just $500 down and no payments until January 2024. Plus, don't forget Arlington's 30-day exchange program. That's 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for one that you do. Why go anywhere else? Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Tired of playing defense against your old AC system? Then it's time for a game-changing solution with Bold City Heating and Air. Their Nate certified techs can tackle the most challenging AC issues. And local family ownership means Bold City AC can provide fast premium service with a more competitive price. This month, they're offering 0% financing on a new Carrier system with payments starting at just $110 a month. So be cool, be bold, and visit boldcityac.com.
Wood floors should make your home look cozy and inviting, but old worn-out floors can look kinda Let Renew Solutions give your floors a stunning makeover. For a no-obligation appointment, visit renewjacksfloors.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Are you ready to score big with your family's eye care? Bowden Eye Associates is your winning team. Pay attention, team. A complete eye exam will help us spot potential issues before they become major setbacks. That's right, Coach. Their expert doctors monitor and diagnose conditions that could affect your performance on and off the field. Bowden Eye Associates is with you every step of the way with 3 convenient locations across town. Bowden Eye has the First Coast covered.
There's something special about Napa Auto Care Centers. They're backed by the national power of Napa and a 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty. But more importantly, your Napa Auto Care Center is locally owned and operated by a strict written code of ethics. Put your vehicle in the hands of ASC-certified technicians you can trust. Find us at jacksnapaautocare.group.com. David Garrard Mondays on Jaguars Today are brought to you by American Garage and John's Automotive.
I'm the Hammer Hayes Carline, and I've been known to drop an opinion like a hammer. Weekdays on The Frangie Show on 1010XL, brought to you by Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters, the golden standard in roofing.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trusted company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
This is Sheridan Tootin, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and Dr. Kevin Murphy put my right shoulder back together a few years ago, and I'm still feeling great. Now I'm using PRP treatment for my knee pain. No matter what you're dealing with, if you're enduring any orthopedic issue, my only recommendation is Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you roll into a convenience store for some cold Bud Light, you want to make sure it's, well, cold. Check out the big coolers at Circle K. They make sure it's chilled and ready to go for the big game or party. Swing by Circle K and pick up some cold Bud Light.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com. I want my Woody's barbecue.
This is a test of the emergency barbecue system. It is advisable you report immediately to your neighborhood Woody's barbecue restaurant. Now, to pass this test, simply order a slab of baby back ribs, a generously sized family feast, a sky-high pie, and a barbecue chicken too. Woody's Barbecue. Been doing it low and slow for over 42 years.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do.
Let's eat.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Hey, poker fans, you're in for a treat this October at Best Bet. With over $690,000 in poker promotions paid out this month, this is no time to be on the sidelines. Highlights include the $400 GoPo 400 with $40,000 guarantee at Best Bet Orange Park, the $100,000 guarantee St. Augustine Championship, and the return of the World Poker Tour $1 million guarantee at Best Bet Jacksonville. For all the details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence practiced in a limited fashion yesterday with a brace on his left knee. Trevor spoke to media on Tuesday and was asked how will he know if he's ready to play tomorrow night.
I can't answer that question right now. I think when Thursday comes, that's a question that I'm gonna have to answer, and all of us are gonna have to make the best decision for not only myself but for the team. So, like I said, I really like how I've progressed every day. It's been really good. So, I'm optimistic, but of course we're gonna have to make that decision Thursday, and we'll go from there. But yeah, right now is not the day to do that.
6-year NFL veteran C.J. Beathard would start if Trevor can't go tomorrow night. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Grilling up lunch with Leon and the Sausage Dudes. Sausage with a purpose on 1010XL.
So since Matt brought it up in the first segment, and in case we sound out of breath, 1010XL is very excited to be partnering with the Mackenzie's Run next month in November. It's a 5K as well as a 1-mile fun run around TPC Sawgrass. We are going to have a team. We encourage you to sign up, McKenzie'sRun.com.
Mm-hmm.
We will be encouraging those signups by producing a variety of fun videos in which the 1010XL crew trains for a 5K.
Well, let me just say something.
Yeah.
How impressed I am with my colleagues and their health. All right.
Yeah.
No, for real. Because I just sat down there and saw Joe Cowell get down and do push-ups like there was nothing to do.
And now he's talking. He's not out of
And
breath.
he's not out of breath.
Nothing.
And then Matt Hayes is over here doing plyometrics. And last year with that Achilles, there's no way on God's green earth he would have been able to do that.
It's the truth.
It's the Yas method, baby.
Yeah, and we're
The
not out
Yas
of breath.
day, it is. Absolutely.
And we're not out of breath from
Not
just
out of
doing
breath.
the electric slide that JJ was playing right
You
there.
know what? It's funny y'all said that. I've never partaken in that.
You've never done the electric slide?
Never done it.
At a wedding, you've never done
I've
it.
never done it. You might have to take my black card.
I was about to say you're part of the culture,
I know, bro, but I've never.
Wow.
Okay,
What
here's the
line
thing. I've
dances
seen.
do you like to do?
I've seen. I don't. They say gangsters don't dance, they boogie. Okay, so I don't dance.
They just pull up their pants and
But
do
at a
the rock
wedding,
away.
and do the rock.
when there's a
away.
means to an end at a wedding, you're not going to do it.
I've never
you know what
felt
he's
the
doing?
need to
Dude,
get in
they
there.
taught
Right,
us
when there's
to
a means
do it
to an
in
end.
middle school.
Like, but you know what he's doing? He's over there saying, "Go ahead, baby, you go do that."
You go
That's
with your
exactly-
friends.
What about the
Like,
cha-cha
I'll
slide?
go to get a drink.
What about the cha-cha slide?
I don't even know.
No,
to
I
know
the
what
left,
it is.
to the right.
No, I didn't do
No?
that.
No line dances.
I haven't done any.
I did them way back.
The Cupid Shuffle.
you'd have
Yeah,
to read
Cupid Shuffle.
No, I've done that.
the chicken dance. You never did that.
Chicken dance.
I'm there with JJ.
What
They-
about the
I've
YMCA,
done-
bro?
JJ, you definitely did the chicken dance at your wedding. Don't say you did.
No, actually, I didn't. I banned all that. There was no electric slide. There was no line
Good-
dancing.
good for you,
He's
Jay.
so angry. I banned it all.
I love how he says that. I banned it.
Because
Ah,
I
but-
hate the corny ass dances.
Okay,
at
Costanza.
So
weddings.
you
I
didn't do
banned
So
you
we
didn't
did
do the
all-
train all the way through the.
No, the only like group dance that everyone like got in a circle with was Friends in Low Places.
Same
It's
thing.
the best.
So
Yeah,
that's a
it was
sing-along
fine.
song.
Yeah, exactly.
JJ, did you, and I'm curious if any of our nooners on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, did you have to do, I also had this, did you have to square dance 6th or 7th grade? Was that a requirement in gym class?
No.
Yeah.
But I, frequenting some of the rural bars in my area where I grew up, you certainly
profiling.
had to learn how to line dance, and the ladies loved it, dude.
And listen, we had
And slow calo?
Absolutely, bro.
That's
There
what I'm
used to be
talking
a
about.
beach, or not a beach, a bar on the edge of town called The Beach that was so far away from water, it was around nothing. And like all the girls that would come into town for, they call it hits, which is like the biggest horse show in America or something. And they come in for like months. And they all go to this bar. Dude, Leon, I'm telling you, it was like 4-1 hot horse riding girls to us. It was.
And you were
just
singing Big and
amazing.
Rich right there.
Oh,
Save
dude,
a
I
horse,
was,
ride a cowboy.
I
That's
was
what-
like line dancing like you wouldn't believe, bro.
Meanwhile, up in New Jersey.
Or on the edge of town. That sounds like a Springsteen song.
It does.
Speaking of Jersey.
Meanwhile, up in New Jersey, yeah,
Called
correct.
the
Speaking of Jersey, it was literally part of our 6th grade gym
We
requirement.
did a Sadie Hawkins dance, which
Of
had
course.
that theme to it with the square dancing. So I do remember that, and some of the girls that just absolutely love that honky tonk. There was oh gosh, somebody will remember this at the edge. People would go to Palatka to party, if you can believe this.
Hell yeah.
Because there was that
I
kick
can't
butt
believe it.
country bar.
That just sounds like a place I want to go
You're talking
party.
to Palatka.
Hey,
I love it. So hard to believe,
Hey,
but
dog,
yeah.
dog, where we going tonight, man? We're going to Palatka, bro.
We're going to the
Club in
forest.
Palatka.
We're going
that-
to Cactus Jack's.
And remember up here, 8
driven by
seconds,
Cactus
and
Jack.
Hell yeah.
remember Crazy Horse? Crazy Horse Saloon, 8 seconds. Those were big time bars back then. But yeah, the honky tonk is good. I don't mind it, but it's probably not as popular as it once was.
What do you know about the
y'all square
watermelon
danced in
crawl?
gym?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
a requirement, like a whole unit. Like, you know how they used to call them like units or quarters? So it was square dancing, ballroom dancing, line dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that in my high school too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that as like a requirement. I remember us.
I don't
They
remember that
forced
either.
us
None of
to.
my
No, in middle school, she's right. We had
Yeah.
to learn how to do the electric slide.
That is pretty
That's
funny.
just public school.
What about
They
the-
put you in PE and they're like, what are we going to do this week? Oh, we're just going to have the kids learn to dance.
Yeah, they
We'll sit
abandoned
back
the
and
whole
smoke
idea of actual
cigarettes.
physical education.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
PE where we were like literally sitting in a circle doing like heads up 7-Up or like playing with like balloons. It was public school's a joke.
Yeah, it is. I got the son-in-law teaching 9th grade, and he's trying to keep their minds right.
Oh, that's a
and
rough
not
year
polluted
to be teaching kids.
It is
9th
not,
grade.
It is
Oh.
not easy right now. It is not. All right, you know what we need to do, though? We need to do a little math, and we need to get into our power rankings. Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. Every Wednesday we add 5 and 5 together to get 10 right here on 1010. 5 college, 5 pro. I think since we were talking NFL, should we stay there? I think we should because we need to get to the college game. We got Ira coming up at 1:20, so we'll probably do the college at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. But the NFL, ever-changing. Like I
Yeah,
just
we
said.
have a lot of movement
because
this week.
Eagles, 49ers both lose. The Bills took forever to beat the New York Football Giants. I showed you guys the video of Brian Dable and Sean McDermott shaking hands. That
If you
was
want to
not-
call it a shake, it
oh
was
my
like
gosh. It was
shun.
more like it was a handshake which meant a finger, basically is what it was. I mean, it was a handshake that lasted a nanosecond.
But did you see the way he hugged Josh Allen? He's like, "Oh my, I miss you so much." It was endearing. Oh my God.
Dable went from
He hugged him like a newborn baby.
he went from Josh Allen to Daniel Jones.
Do you think Daniel Jones saw that video and was just sad?
I guarantee it. I guarantee
he's
it.
hurt.
All right. So you said movement because of the L's. All right. So JJ set up Big Sur. So let's get
All
it
right,
rolling.
let's go Leon first. So Leon had Joe's Lions at number 5, Eagles 4, Dolphins 3, Chiefs 2, and the Niners 1 last week. Leon.
All right, my top 5. Well, listen, heavy is the head who wears the crown. The 49ers and Eagles both lost to inferior teams, in my opinion, but that Cleveland defense is pretty stellar. I got the Eagles at 5. They take a little tumble. I love the way I got the Lions at 4. I love the Lions. I think right now, any team that plays the Lions, you better watch yourself. They're clicking on all cylinders. I got the Niners, who've been at the top of my power ranking, number 1 for a while.
Right.
They tumbled to 3.
Okay.
They're at number 3. I've got KC number 2, and my number 1 is 305.
Wow.
Number 5. I mean, not 305. The Dolphins
The
are my
fans.
number 1 team. Right now, my power ranking.
So did you have them number 1 earlier before they?
No, I've never.
Okay.
The 49ers were already there. They were looming, but they never cracked number 1.
All right, good. All right, let's keep it rolling, JJ.
Let's go with Matt. Matt had the Bills 5, Dolphins 4, Chiefs 3, Lions 2, and he also had the 49ers number 1. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong week. I'm looking at this week, and I just totally ruined it.
Wow.
You just eliminated
so
my
last
entire
week
picture.
he had the Bills 5, he had the Lions 4, Eagles 3, Chiefs 2, and the Niners number 1.
All right, so now that JD's blown it, the Eagles have fallen out of my top 5.
Wow.
All the way out.
They don't look something about them. They're off. They're definitely off.
Hurts is
But
off.
to lose that game, they had to have 2 or 3 really quirky turnovers.
They
One
did.
really bad throw by
They
Jalen
did.
Hurts, but then the other ones were just crazy.
They're not protecting him as well as they have in the past either. He's a little off, and I think just the offense is not smooth. The operation's not doing it for me. So I've got the Bills at 5. I got Leon's 305 at 4.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Dolphins, and I know I got them ahead of the Bills, even though they're at the same record. And the Bills just destroyed them head to head. I still think the Dolphins are the better team.
You're like one of those AP voters in
I am.
college.
It's a total AP voter thing, but it's also I'm looking at it as
It's possible
you
for
still
a
got
team to
one
beat
more.
another team and still be better.
You still got one more game in Miami, which I think the Dolphins will win rather handily. And I think if you're playing on a neutral field, I think the Dolphins will win that game. That's what polls are all about anyway. It's all about opinion.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
And I've kind of made the decision that until the Lions lose, they're on the Chiefs. They're ahead of the Chiefs. So I got the Chiefs at 3, Lions at 2, and I still got the Niners at 1. Even though they lost, I still got them at 1 because I still think they're the most complete team in the league.
So you just
Very
went
liberal poll you
against
got
the
there.
exact thing you said with the Bills and Dolphins.
Hey, I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want.
Here's why you were saying it's a poll. Well, I feel like a poll should have the team that beat the other team in front of it, but these are power rankings.
Yes, exactly.
This is like, who do you think is just better?
Yeah, I was just throwing that AP poll vote
Yes.
his way. But yeah, absolutely. Right now, right here, right now.
Wait a minute,
How
wait
would you
a minute,
say
here's
that?
the
Right now, if they're on the neutral field, who you think wins?
What?
That's what it is. Basically.
So the AP poll, that's writers, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's a lot of different, isn't it? Just like all kinds
No,
of.
AP
I'm talking
polls,
about the Bills.
writers
in
and
front of-
radio people and
The
tell
Bills
yeah,
in front of the
yeah.
Jaguars, and we beat them. We destroyed them.
Come on.
Come on,
Hit me
man.
in.
All right, Mia had
Where were the Jags in your poll?
A 6.
yeah, I know.
Don't give me that.
They're
They
old.
honestly- we have a top 5 poll, don't we? I can't think they're 6.
I label
Where are the
them
Bills in your
as
poll?
Ole.
They're 8.
They're Ole. Outside looking in.
5B. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Mia had the Dolphins, Lions, Eagles, Chiefs, and the Niners number 1.
So I am keeping the Eagles, even though losing to the New York Football Jets sans Aaron Rodgers gives me pause. I do think that's a really good defense. So I'm keeping the Eagles, although I agree with Matt that I think their offense has some issues. Dolphins at 4, Lions at 3, because in terms of consistency, no one has been more consistent than Detroit outside of that Week 2 loss. The Niners, I slide them to 2 solely because their one loss of the season was by 2 points. The Chiefs' one loss on the season was by 1 point. I do still believe, though, that San Francisco is the most complete team in the National Football League.
Yeah, it's. I think the injuries probably had a little something to do with why they had the L, but they just were not. They just didn't have it together, and it's their first real road challenge where Brock Purdy looked just a little out of sorts. So I want to kind of see where they go from here.
All right. Last week, Joe had the Lions number 5, which I feel is very on the inside. Joe really has them number 1. The Dolphins number 4, Chiefs 3, Eagles 2, and of course the 49ers number 1.
All right, so power poll, as we said, week to week things change. You look around, you make some observations, some declarations, and I put the 49ers in that number 5 slot because, yes, they have been extremely impressive up until this point. But here's what I did. I moved the 49ers and the Eagles, the 2 unbeaten teams, to 5 and 4. And the reason why I put the 49ers 5th instead of 4th is because they lost to stinking P.J. Walker, and they cost me a huge parlay. Those are the 2 main reasons why they
You're
tumbled.
not above petty.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's the
petty.
only reason why you put them there. Let's be honest.
But they lost to stinking P.J. Walker.
Yeah.
The Eagles, at the very least, both teams lost to really good defenses on the road. So that kind of even Steven there. But the Eagles did lose with Jalen Hurts, just some clunky, funky stuff that took place. So 49ers 5, Eagles 4, Dolphins 3, because I still think they still have a little bit of a question to answer on the road. Can that offense travel, that type of deal because of their loss to the Buffalo Bills. And then this makes perfect sense to me. Number 2, Kansas City. Number 1, Detroit.
Yes!
Number 2, Kansas City.
about
Number 1,
time.
Detroit.
I was just getting ready to give you so much grief when that was going to be flipped.
Because the Lions beat them at their pad.
Head to head.
And so Chiefs number 2, Lions number 1. And right now the Lions are feeling it. They are really starting to play some confident ball. Jared Goff rolling right now.
Could we live in a world where the Detroit Lions go to the Super Bowl?
It's funny you
we do.
Funny you say that, Leon, because there actually is a photo floating around the internet of someone did an AI of if the Lions win the Super Bowl and what it would look like, and it literally just looks like Detroit is on fire and people are swimming around in the river and Lake Michigan, I believe that is. And let me pass it along.
Armageddon, basically.
What's left of Detroit would be on fire.
Right.
Let's make that very
It's
clear.
been on fire for decades.
So it would just be just absolute there's
chaos.
the lion,
Absolutely.
There's the fire coming out of the ocean.
Well, no different than when Philly won their first Super Bowl.
Right, exactly.
All right, let's do a little bold fact since we are in the NFL world because these teams right now, they got superstars. That's why they're among the top 5. So a little bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, the first brewery in Duval. They just celebrated 15 years this past Saturday. So that means they've been around since 2008, and their craft speaks for itself. And you can go, they have the Mad Manatee, which is their IPA forever. Great creation. But then now they added the Bold City IPA. They got the Killer Whale. They got the Duval Light. They just got all the different craft creations. You can find Bold City, their production house in Riverside, right there on Roselle Street, Bold City downtown. Make sure you drop on by or look for some of those famous cans. Duke's, that was the original brown ale, named after their boxer when they first opened it, named Duke. All right, you ready? A.J. Brown. Even though the Eagles lost, he has put up some pretty good numbers here, okay? Fifth wide receiver since 2000 to have at least 125 receiving yards in 4 straight games. So think about that. That's doing work. 125 receiving yards in 4 straight games. 5th player since 2000. These are gettable, so let's go ahead and do it. We need the other 4.
We always pick Randy.
Yeah. Andre Johnson.
Oh.
I think Stephon Diggs.
All right, I need to ding up my man wearing the U right there. Andre Johnson is great pull.
How about Torrey Holt?
Antonio Brown.
Marv or I like that. Marvin.
Didn't Antonio just get arrested again?
Yeah,
he
child
did.
sport thing.
Yeah.
Chandler Jones.
Oh,
did
Megatron.
Too.
There's another ding.
Megatron.
All right.
That's a good one.
Do we
All right,
think
so-
Reggie Wayne or Marvin Harrison?
Nope. So Andre Johnson did it in 2008. Megatron did it in 2012.
Marvin Harrison.
Chad Johnson.
Terrell Owens.
You were trying to get 3 Johnsons.
Terrell
I know
Owens,
where you were going.
T.O.
Nope.
Who, by the way, just got into a scuffle with someone at a pickup basketball game where that man
ran
hit
over
him with a car.
Yeah, hit him with a
And
car.
I love
Very interesting.
The storyline was this, and they hit him in the knee. They
In
aimed
the
at his knee.
which makes me think, did he
Since-
drive up to him and then stop really fast when he was just at the knee? Or sounds exaggerated.
I
It's
mean, you
on
said since 2000, right?
Since 2000.
Jay Smooth.
Nope. That's
Who,
a good
Jay
one, though.
Smooth?
That's a
Not
good one.
Stephon Diggs.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, here's a guy, you will get it immediately, has just said,
Oh, hold on. Justin Jefferson.
nope. But all these receiving records, if Justin
Cooper Kupp.
Jefferson
Lamar Chase.
is
Cooper Kupp.
no, if Justin Jefferson or any of these guys are approaching a number, this guy's usually the guy that's got the number at the top since 2000.
I said Randy Moss.
OBJ.
Oh,
really?
Odell
Oh, damn.
Beckham Jr.
Wow.
In 2004 did it, and this other guy could have been great. Josh Gordon.
Oh, wow. Did not see
Could
that
have been great.
You know what? The most discouraging thing
Right off the weed.
about him is that I was watching him on the XFL. He was lighting everybody up.
Right.
Sick. Jeez.
He was so
He started as a
Lighting
quarterback
everyone up.
in college. He was a
Bro, I'm talking
quarterback.
about the-
Unintended.
yeah.
Bro, yeah.
He was so.
I didn't
good.
mean that. I swear I didn't.
All right.
He was
That
bad.
just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, despite Trevor Lawrence telling us he's optimistic he'll play tomorrow, despite C.J. Beathard saying it's very likely that Trevor will play, The Jaguars are signing Nathan Rourke to their 53-man roster per Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network. Some insurance with Trevor dealing with the knee injury. I think it's worth noting that the Jaguars only had 52 players on that 53 active man roster as of today. So there was an open spot. Do with that information what you will. What's curious to me is...
Mount up, Mountie.
Yes, obviously the injury to Trevor is paramount, but I think what's also interesting will be when Devon Hamilton is activated off IR, then Nathan Rourke is subject to waivers.
Yeah. But at least he gets that player money for at least a week or so.
Yeah, and that's good for him because he's making an okay salary, whatever it is, $10,000, $12,000 a week. But, yeah, that game check for a regular roster spot
he's going to get about 50 G's.
A bit meatier than that.
Maybe he'll get more.
Maybe he'll get more.
But
maybe Trevor
he
gets
is
hurt.
Subject
maybe,
to waivers, but
maybe Beathard plays a little poorly and Rourke goes in there and pulls out a win.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get a little more than just 1 week. You never know.
Oh, you never know. But
I mean, do the Jags even lose a step when Rourke comes in? I doubt it.
Listen, I was picturing him pirouetting in the backfield and just slinging it to whoever it was, Elijah Cooks or Jacob Harris, one of those guys, like he did in the
You all
preseason.
laugh, but against truly horrible competition, he played pretty well.
He was really good in the fourth quarter. It was awesome. That's usually the way it goes in the preseason. We fall in love with a lot of guys in the preseason. Yeah. We can't help it. But as of now, they're at least elevating him. They can send him right back to the practice squad the following week.
He would have to clear waivers is the only thing.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of how they did that just recently with Jacob Harris. They brought him up.
They elevated him.
Yeah.
They didn't sign him to the active roster.
Okay,
They just elevated him as a standard practice squad designation.
Yeah, and so that is at least a little maneuverability that way as opposed to signing. I got you. All right, so keep an eye on that one.
So then why wouldn't they just elevate Rourke? Like, why do you sign him to the roster?
What does that mean?
Because I think it's with the third quarterback rule. I think that's what if you're going to have 3 quarterbacks active on game day, but they won't count against your active 48, they have to be on the active roster.
Okay. Yeah. So you can move them up and down if they go to another team or whatever. Then they got to put them on the active roster. But you can move them up and down off your practice squad onto your active roster.
Imagine that phone call to your mom, like, "No, I didn't make I'm elevated though.
Mom, I
didn't make the team, but I'm elevated."
Why would I call you to tell you? And then you ask me, well, that really doesn't technically mean you're on the team, son. Oh, you can hear it.
Mom, but if you're Rourke, you're calling your mom, you say, I got signed to the active roster.
Yeah.
But that's the good news. The bad news is I'll be moving in a week.
It's beautiful. All right, it's XL Primetime, Golf Club of Southampton, Wednesday, 2-8-7 play. You got cooler weather. You got nice sunshine. Take advantage of it any day of the week, morning, afternoon. You got a lot of football in your weekend plans. Make sure you head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton during the week. And don't forget, Friday night on the patio, music, special menu. They always set it up beautifully. When the stars and the sun is setting, you can do it right there at the Golf Club of Southampton. So we get into 1 o'clock hour. We've done 5 from the pro. We'll do 5 from college, our top 5 coming up.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
This is the game right here if they're able to make a play.
The game-changing play.
What a play!
Listen for the Performance Painting high-performance play of the game.
That's a dime, good ball!
On 1010XL, Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Mia here, and if you listen to the 1010XL kickoff show on Sundays, you know I'm on the Brackish vodka train too. Brackish has some exciting news for all of you fans out there as they've just introduced 2 incredible new flavors that are sure to elevate your experience. Get ready to meet espresso and elderflower. If you're looking for something a bit more floral with a hint of honey, like St. Germain but with a vodka twist, then elderflower is your go-to choice. It's elegance in a bottle, a sip of sophistication. Drink like a local. Drink Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Attention car buyers, are you in the market for a new vehicle? Are you noticing the markups on vehicles on dealers' lots? Well, come to Key Buick GMC, where we never have markups on our vehicles. Ask for Derek or Brian. In addition, Key Buick GMC is the only Buick GMC dealer with a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new Buicks and GMCs. Holidays are approaching, and we are your local service headquarters. That's Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Locking in an amazing, crazy low, once-in-a-lifetime deal on your terms has never been easier. Just go to General RV during our Bid and Buy sale, October 18th through the 22nd. You have the power to name your own price. Just find your favorite RV, submit your best offer, and get a fantastic deal. To make a bid, go to General RV and ask the front desk associate for a bid sheet in Orange Park on Wells Road off 295. Not all offers will be accepted. Accepted offers do not require purchase. See dealer for details.
Tailgating is back, but if you're like most of us, your grill is probably a filthy, greasy mess. Trust Grill SOS Barbecue Grill Cleaning Service to make sure your grill is squeaky clean for the fall grilling season. Schedule your grill cleaning now at grillsos.com.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Now, the Tire Outlet drive of the game. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
Jacksonville seems to take the scenic route with each drive downfield because they allow the fans to enjoy each moment. Trevor Lawrence would lead the teal and black on a 13-play, 75-yard drive. That would be capped off by a Travis Etienne touchdown, making the score 7-3 with 25 seconds left in the period. The 7-minute, 10-second drive is your Tire Outlet drive of the game.
Is your vehicle in need of some TLC? Bring it to the experts at Tire Outlet. With over 40 years of experience in 15 locations across Florida, Tire Outlet is the brand you can trust. Our certified technicians do the job right to get you in and out in no time flat. Hurry in for great deals on tires and automotive service. We offer free tire rotations, free brake inspections, rebate offers on brand name tires, and a legendary price match guarantee on every set of brand new tires. Tire Outlet, wholesale prices, premium service.
5-Star Pizza delivers a symphony of flavors for an extraordinary artisanal experience.
Dude, come on, it's a pizza.
Well, have you seen their Piezilla? It barely fits through the doorway. Call 5-Star Pizza now and cry out for a Piezilla!
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
Football season means time on the couch and plenty of big games on the TV. Well, Florida Home AC knows you might be hitting the thermostat every time your team goes for the win. With family and friends hanging out for 4 quarters or more, the heating and AC unit will be working overtime. Stay cool with Florida Home AC. A simple phone call to 777-4300 and make sure your unit is primed for the fall when temps change constantly. Order a tune-up and enjoy the season. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Storms are part of every season. Make sure you're protected. Call American Electrical to make sure you have the best in surge protection. Don't lose your home electronics to a lightning strike. Call 737-7770 for American Electrical.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has signed a 3-year extension through March of 2027. Goodell spoke today about what his key focus will be over the next 3 years as Commissioner of the National Football League.
Listen, there are a lot of challenges out there, but there are also a lot of opportunities for us. And we're focused on how we make the NFL better every day, how we become a global sport. I think some very exciting things are happening in that context. And I feel really good about where the National Football League is today, but we don't sit around and tell ourselves that. We really sit and we really focus on what are the things we need to do.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell today on his 3-year extension. It's 72 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Grilling up lunch with Leon and the Sausage Dudes. Sausage with a purpose on 1010XL.
Dr. George Barr is coming in just a little bit. He's stumping for an open that will include the Sausage Dudes. With his, because
does he want to be a sausage dude?
He's auditioning, I think, later, but he loves the liner. He cracks up every time he hears it. Leon and the Sausage Dudes. We are working on our dance steps, and it might include a little bit of the electric slide since we talked about it earlier today. But it is one of those ooh 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 ooh. Just kind of move left, move right. You can kind of help us.
I can do that.
Yeah, we're the Pips. You're Gladys. All right, into the 1 o'clock hour we go. We did our top 5 in the NFL. 5 plus 5 equals 10 right here on XL Primetime. We can do the math, and we do 5 from the college game, and there's 5 of us, so it all makes sense. So let's go around the room because, we had some stuff happen over the weekend, and I thought my Oregon Ducks were poised to go to the top of the Pac-12 conversation with a win over the Huskies, but that did not happen. All right, we're going to roll through them. JJ, let's get it going.
All right, Leon had Washington number 5. Ohio State number 4, Florida State number 3, Michigan 2, and Georgia, the 2-time defending national champions, as his number 1 last week. Who do you have this week?
The exact same thing I had last week.
Nice. It's consistent.
Exact same thing. Washington was impressive. I like that game against Oregon. It has had to be one of the better games this season, if not the best game this season I saw this far. It was a shootout back-to-back. Michael Penix. And Joe Bo Nix, outstanding play by both of them.
They were great.
It's almost a shame that somebody had to lose that game. But, hey, when your coach goes for it 3 times on 4th down and you give them the ball at 50-yard line, you kind of seal the deal. But, yeah, I got my Washington, Ohio State, Florida State, Michigan, Bulldogs.
All right. Last week, Mia had Sorry. Got to go back. Last week, Mia had OU at number 5, Michigan number 4. She had Washington/Oregon number 3, the Bulldogs number 2, and Florida State. Yeah, it is, and Florida State number 1.
Hey, no, it's not a hacker move. It's just the winner of that game, and then the loser becomes.
But
number
it was supposed
6.
to be the week before the game who you thought was number 3.
Right. Which it was, okay.
She just fit him in there.
Yeah, exactly. The point is Washington won the game, so they're number 3. Otherwise, my top 5 holds. I know there are plenty of Michigan fans out there that are clamoring for them to be higher, but much like Georgia's saying it too, it comes down to who have you beaten. And I understand there are questions about Florida State's win over LSU, their win over Clemson. How good are those 2 schools? But at the time they played them, those were impressive wins. They own the 2 most impressive victories in college football right now outside of the Washington-Oregon situation. And therefore, they are still number 1.
All right. Last week, Maddie had OU number 5, Washington 4, Michigan 3, UGA 2, and Florida State number 1.
All right, so OU dropped out. They didn't play. Out of sight, out of mind.
I was just about to say, we are such prisoners of the moment, man.
No, because it was close with Ohio State anyway. I mean, Ohio State is really good. Really good. They probably should have been in there, the top 5 all along, but they're the Death Star. So
Bump Ohio State.
I got to keep them out as long as I can. So I got Ohio State 5. I got the Huskies at 4. I almost stuck them ahead of Michigan because of, Michigan again. Like I said, they're playing an FCS school this week at Michigan State. And then you've got Georgia. I think is a solid 2 right now. I do. I understand the whole Bowers angst. Oscar Dupp is a good player. Mm-hmm. That's a former 5-star dude. That's a guy that's a really good player.
So they recruit well.
He's not Brock Bowers, okay? But he's a good player. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't – the drop-off I don't think is going to be as much as people think it's going to be. And then I got FSU at 1, and I just showed Leon this video from the Syracuse game last week. And y'all got to go on Twitter and watch Hakeem Williams, former 5-star recruit, freshman. He hadn't played much this year. Maybe he's finally starting to get a little more comfortable. That dude – woo!
So are you saying that's Mike Norvell with a star, not out of the portal?
That's another weapon that they have.
Not a 25-year-old.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Not out of the portal. That's a true high school dude that they're developing, and he looks pretty dang good right now.
I don't like that. Yeah. All right, next. Joe had Oregon 5, Michigan 4, OU 3, Georgia 2, and Florida State number 1.
I feel like, the Taps music may be in order instead of college football music to take Oregon out, but I feel like they're going to come back, okay? This is not it for Dan Lanning and the Ducks, all right? But they did slide out of my top 5 just by simple 3-point loss and one of the worst decisions a head coach could ever possibly make in a track meet game, and my man Dan did it. I have moved North Carolina into my top 5. I have taken 2 Pac-12 teams and trimmed it down to 1, and I have ballooned the ACC Power Poll into 2 from the Any Coast Conference. North Carolina is putting together a nice little season, both sides of the ball. I'm putting the Tar Heels number 5.
The Any Coast Conference.
I'm putting the Huskies number 4. I'm putting Michigan, even though I don't like it, number 3, because they really haven't played anybody, but, they're beating the hell out of everybody they play. So that does count for something. Oklahoma, Matt slept on the Sooners, kicked them out of the top 5. I still have them as one of the better teams in college football, and I've got FSU.
So zero SEC teams in Joe's top 5.
No, Georgia. Wow.
Are you ready for this?
Well, OU, I guess, is an SEC team.
Exactly. Future. An SEC future. So
after 41-16, there'll be Georgia at 1 next week, in 2 weeks.
So, exactly. I figured if you're going to keep Georgia out this week, you might as well do it on the bye week. So listen to the number that was thrown out this morning. University of Georgia, only 1 win versus a Power 5 team with a winning record. No wins against a ranked team, and a record of the teams that they have beaten is a combined 10-24. So they're going to crest up. They're going to be there if they keep winning. They will be among the top 5.
They got some big games coming up.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and they were in, but I just decided to bump them out.
The Vols on the road. They get Ole Miss at home. They get Missouri at home. They got some big games.
Yeah. So we'll find out. But there it is. You guys want to jump in? You hit the text line?
ACC best conference in America, Joe? Question mark?
Right now. Because I wanted to work my man Drake May in. And after, me being a Bo believer and they blew it, a Manning for Lanning, none of it worked for me this past week. I thought I had that game and that Oregon was going to send a message to the rest of America. Instead, it was Michael Penix and crew. And you do have to give them credit. Who is it? DeBoer? That guy's impressive. I thought.
DeBoer.
Yeah, he's impressive. And he's done a good job up there. And so I don't know, like we argued yesterday, who would beat who in these games. Would I still take Georgia over any of those 5 teams that I have above them? I don't know. I really don't know right now whether I would take Georgia over a Washington, over an Oregon. I probably would, because all Bo Nix needs to do is see a Georgia uniform and he will just crumble.
If Georgia played North Carolina right now, who would you pick? Neutral field.
Georgia.
Probably.
I think there's only 2 teams that I would Florida State and Michigan I would take over Georgia.
Yeah, and it's because of Georgia's defense. But right now, they don't have everything working offensively. I love what Carson Beck has turned the corner on offensively the last couple of games, but it was a little bit of a slow ticker against Vandy, which I guess most games are up there.
It's also, you're in. It's Vandy. It's the tomato can of the SEC.
Yeah, you're right.
You're playing an 11 a.m. kick.
You lose concentration.
You're just bored.
Yeah.
They will. I mean, they will start to kick it up this coming week.
But again, one win versus Power 5 teams with a winning record.
Yeah.
And that does count for something. All right, let's say hello to Ira Shafel. He is covering the XL Primetime's top team right now in America. And they get ready for the Duke Blue Devils.
The only poll that matters as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. They get ready for the Duke Blue Devils, Riley Leonard or not. We will find out what he thinks about that coming up on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Home of the Jaguars fan.
To see the stadium packed tonight was awesome. One of the best game environments I've been in.
This is 1010XL.
Mia here. Summer has come to an end and the chill of fall is here. Don't you love it? Well, what you won't love is when your heating system isn't keeping you and your family warm. That's where my friends at Duck Duck Air Conditioning come into play. Right now, they are offering a heating system checkup for only $79 to ensure your heating system is in tip-top shape for the colder days ahead. Call Duck Duck Air Conditioning today at 904-862-6769 to schedule your checkup. That's 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Come on, admit it. You know you want a new Toyota. And in Jacksonville, that means you've got to go to the one and only family-owned and operated dealer for nearly 50 years, Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota has over 400 new Toyotas available. Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, Tacomas, they are all at Arlington, and you should be too. And at Arlington Toyota, your new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty, unlimited time, and miles. Why wait? Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, congratulating 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week. Kimberly Carr, senior track and field athlete at Baldwin High. Kimberly takes part in cross country, weightlifting, and varsity track and field. She's also a member of the National Honor Society.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Young Guns are beginning to find their stride this season, and there's a duo connection that already seems to be in midseason form. In the second quarter, Trevor Lawrence would survey the field and find receiver Christian Kirk for a 29-yard touchdown. That would extend Jacksonville's lead to 18 with 1:40 left in the first half. The Christian Kirk score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
At Beaches Jewelry and Pawn, layaway is always an option. Times are tough for some, so anything you need or want from surfboards to tools to high-end jewelry, layaway is always an option at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Ackerman Urology offers the most advanced options for improving men's health and vitality. Their board-certified urologists treat all prostate disease and sexual health issues. Call their new location at World Golf Village or visit AckermanUrology.com.
Have you been thinking about selling your home and just think it's not the right time? You just see a lot of problems out there with getting it done? Let me send you to the problem solvers. That's Chad and Sandy at chadandsandy.com. If you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how, Chad and Sandy are. Chad and Sandy go this far and make you this guarantee. They will sell your home or they will buy it. Carl and Diana in Argyle in Orange Park said, our dream was selling our home so we could travel full-time in our RV. We just had to sell our home for a big price to have the cash to do it right. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, hired them, and sold in 10 days at the highest sales price in the neighborhood. It's time to hit the road in style. And when it comes time to sell your home, sell it in style with Chad and Sandy. Go to chadandsandy.com right now and find out more. Or, as always, you can reach them via the phone lines at 904-414-6200. They are the agents we recommend. They're chadandsandy.com.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Are you afraid to buy your next car? Well, have no fear because Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet offer Beaver's not-so-scary pricing. There's no monsters popping up in your rearview mirror with Beaver's peace of mind warranties. Check out thousands of vehicles for sale online and get answers to all your questions with no tricks and all the treats. I promise our team will take away all those fears. Just come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for Beaver's not-so-scary pricing.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Big ball games. We just went through our Power 5 in college football, and things are going to change. There's no question about it. Mid-October into late November. By the time you carve up that turkey, some of the seasons have been carved up by the best in college football. Let's say hello to our man Ira in Tallytown.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Ira Schafel, he of warchant.com, covering those Knowles. And by the way, Ira, as we welcome you in, they're the top team in XL Primetime voting right now. Would you agree?
Number one in the country?
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I mean, they're in the conversation. There's nobody, I'll say this, there's nobody in college football that I would say Florida State can't play with or can't beat. I would say, I think Michigan's looked really impressive, and Georgia's Georgia. But yeah, I mean, they definitely are in that conversation.
Now, Ira, you had some issues in the last game against Syracuse. Jordan Travis went in the locker room with the shoulder and everything. He had an offensive lineman that went down. How healthy are the Seminoles going into this game against Duke?
I think they're pretty healthy. I think they're probably just about like everybody else, and you know better than the rest of us. I mean, at this time of the season, it's tough. But Jordan's been practicing this week. He seems fine. Darius Washington, he's kind of their Swiss Army knife on the offensive line. He can play. He started games at tackle and at guard and even at center. And he's the guy that he got banged up during that game. He's been out there this week. I don't know if it's going to be probably closer to game time, whether they know for sure. But Jordan's been able to practice this week. I expect he'll be able to play full go.
Ira, do you feel like these guys are just kind of the last 2-3 weeks, more than the last 2 weeks, kind of just like going through the motions? I mean, now you've got Duke, and I was telling these guys earlier that I think that one of the most underplayed things this week was the little slip screen that Hakeem Williams took 50 and the speed. And I'm thinking, my God, they've got another weapon now. They can ratchet it up in these big games. Do you expect them to do that with Duke, no matter who plays quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think these last 2 weeks was about trying to show a little bit of killer instinct. You know, especially after the Boston College game where they got up 31-10 and let BC get back in it, and then they never really could regain control. I mean, I think Florida State got lucky that the game was 60 minutes. If it was 65 minutes, I think they might have lost up there at Boston College. But you know, I think they learned that lesson, and these last 2 weeks were more about, to your point, just kind of taking care of business, getting a decisive win, and moving on. Now we're back to more of the fun games, and Duke is a game where I think you'll see Mike Norvell probably get a little bit more creative with his play calling. I think you'll see Adam Fuller, the defense, probably get a little bit more aggressive, especially if Riley Leonard's not playing the Duke star quarterback, which we still don't know yet. And then, to your point, they've got a lot of weapons. I actually asked Jordan Travis about that today. Is as a quarterback with so many weapons and so many guys who haven't even shown what they can do yet, like a Hakeem Williams, that was his first big catch last week. Does he feel a pressure to get the ball to those guys? And he said, no, man, I have my reads, and the ball's going to go where it needs to go, and everybody else needs to understand that.
Catching up with Ira Schafel on the All-Pro Roofing Hotline. You can check out his stuff at warchant.com. Florida State facing Duke in a night game this Saturday. I know a lot of folks, Ira, have said that if this was a nooner, maybe sentiment's a little bit different about how the Noles might play, but obviously it is a night game at Doak Campbell, and the Noles, for what it's worth, I think are going against one of the best defenses they have faced this season. What say you?
They definitely are. There's no question. I mean, this is, and again, I've tried to tell people that I talk to, and we'll have more stories about it as well. But it's not like this was a nice, cute Duke team that got old together. I mean, they also went out and got a lot of studs from the transfer portal. And they've got guys that played at Miami. They've got guys that played at other programs. This is a talented and very, very experienced football team, and especially on that defense. They're no joke. I mean, I think Notre Dame's the only team that scored over 14 on them, and that was in the last seconds of that game. So it's a very good defense. It'll be a good challenge. I do think you're right to bring up the crowd, though. I think that is going to be interesting because I don't know if any Duke football team, or it's been a long time, has gone into an environment like that, a primetime game, top 20 matchup on the road in front of 80,000 people, and they're going to get FSU's best shot. To your point, they're not going to sneak up on FSU on a sleepy noon game. They're going to get FSU's best shot because of the atmosphere too, and it'll be a great test, I think, for Duke.
Talking with Ira Schafel. You can definitely check him out on social media and at warchant.com as he heads things up there. And you talk about atmosphere, you talk about high stakes, and if you look at the environment, I do think that Mike Norvell, we were talking about one of the prize recruits that he got, Ira, is starting to really start to showcase himself. I would think that Norvell is really making inroads based on the success of the team and then maybe spotlight games like this in recruiting even more.
Well, they're definitely it's going to help them hold on to guys. They had a great summer. They got a 5-star KJ Bolden, a 5-star safety out of Atlanta, maybe the number one safety in the country. They got a 5-star cornerback out of Sarasota, Venice, Florida, Charles Lester. He committed during the summer. They really did a good job late in the summer with some big-time commitments. And really what this success has been able to do is keep those guys in place. Because, Georgia's coming after those guys, Alabama, other schools are coming after those guys. And if Florida State had lost maybe the LSU game or lost that in the Clemson game, then maybe you can't hold on to those guys. So there's a couple other big-time recruits they're involved with. There's a couple of announcements that are going to come this week. L.J. McCray, a 5-star defensive lineman out of Daytona that a lot of people thought was probably going to go to Florida. Now there's talking Florida State's involved there. So it's been big, but I really think the biggest thing was just it's helped them hold on to these big-time guys they already have.
I played enough games against Florida State to know when they're good, and not ashamed to say that they are good. All right, because they remind me a lot of the teams that I played in the late '80s and the early '90s. Now it's too early to crown them because they haven't won the championship. But I mean, how good if you were to stack them up? Now it's early. If you were to stack them up, is there any season or year you could say that they remind you of Florida State?
It's weird. It's a great question, and it's weird. not really because of the way it's been built. So many of those teams that you played against and so many of those teams that people remember, even the 2013 team, they were so loaded on elite high school 5-star talent that went to the NFL, and this is a different kind of team. They've got a few of those guys. Keon Coleman's obviously one of those guys. Jared Verse is a guy. They've got a few of those, but then they also have a bunch of other guys who are really good older college football players that don't maybe have the blue chip potential that some of those guys did. So from that standpoint, that's why I was curious about the Clemson game, because Clemson still has a lot of those guys, especially on defense. They've Jeremiah Trotter and those guys are studs. They'll be NFL 15-year vets. And so I didn't know how FSU's older, experienced college football guys would do against those, and they end up getting the win. To me, that's the difference. I don't know if this team has quite as much elite talent as some of those teams did, but that doesn't mean they can't be a great college football team.
All right, I don't want to get too far ahead right now, but looking at the second half, what's the most difficult game? The game, if you're going to say, Florida State might lose that game, what game are you looking at? Or is it all the way to the ACC Championship game where potentially they could play an unbeaten North Carolina?
Man, it keeps changing every day, or every week. Before the season, I thought the road trip to Pitt late in the season, in November, the way Pitt's played the last couple of years, I said, oh, that's going to be a tough one. And then first half of the season, they didn't look any good at all, but then they looked good last week. So, Florida, 2 or 3 weeks ago, the way they looked against Kentucky, I thought, okay, maybe going to Gainesville won't be that hard this year. Now, hey, you look up and they're 5-2, and they always struggle in Gainesville. So it's hard to say. I'm going to stick with the road trip to Gainesville. Is probably the game that I would say is going to be the hardest game during the regular season. I think Miami, if things continue to go sideways for them, they might play hard early in that game. But I think if Florida State handles the initial emotions, I think they'll be able to beat Miami pretty comfortably at home. And then, these other ACC teams, I think Florida State's going to have to play bad to lose any of these other games or play below what they should. Florida is a game where, man, that's a tough place to play. And, I think they may have found something offensively down there.
Kickoff times also have not been announced for either or any of those games, including the two ACC games, that Ira alluded to, as well as North Alabama, Miami, and Florida. Ira, before we let you go, I'm just curious, as somebody who spends so much time with that program and with those players, we know Trey Benson is the lead back. I think it's safe to say Keon Coleman is the go-to wide receiver. Who for you, though, is an X factor in both those rooms? Because the depth is just, I think, unparalleled right now from what we're seeing in other portions of college football.
Yeah, honestly, I think it might be the tight end, Jaheim Bell, because, he's kind of been he's had some nice games. I think he had 4 catches last week for 60, 70, 80 yards. But I think he's a guy that as teams really start to focus on Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman outside, I think they can do even more with Jaheim Bell. And I think there's going to be a chance in some of these games where maybe he ends up being the guy with 2 or 3 touchdowns in a big game. But you're right. I mean, that's the thing about this team is they don't have just one weapon or 2 weapons you have to take away. They've got playmakers really at every position on offense. And I think from week to week, it might look different.
Dude, we appreciate it as always. Ira Schafel, find him on social media and then at warchant.com and see if the Noles can keep rolling and stay atop the XLP Power Poll, Ira.
We'll see, buddy. We'll see. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Thanks,
All
Ira.
right, man. He's like XLP. What are you talking about? Hey, this is our world, okay? We can make up our own rules, right?
Damn right we can.
Yeah, we invented X. Forget about Elon Musk. This came straight from XLP.
Except we haven't started saying zeeting. I had a buddy of mine I was doing a podcast with on Monday, and he started talking about zeeting and sending a zeet, and I just okay. We're not. Yeah,
is that what they call it? A zeet?
Yeah, that's what Elon's calling it.
It's so funny that we decided to pronounce an X like a Z and a Z like a. I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense. But
that's very Chinese.
Yeah, that's the
zeeting.
I'm going to remember that.
The English pronounce it Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
Z-E-D.
Well, I mean,
it's a great, by the way, great word for Scrabble.
You say Xerox, and Xerox starts with
Oh,
X.
there you go.
Yeah, Xerox.
But that's a proper noun.
No, it's not.
It's also a made up
is.
name. Yes, it is. It's a made up name.
But it's just funny that it is
Yeah,
spelled
exactly.
that way.
That's a proper noun.
It's a
So,
Yeah,
of
it
course,
is.
you just say it however you want to say it.
Right.
There's no rules.
You could say it X-Rocks.
All right.
That's what
X-Rock
they
sounds
wanted, right?
better.
That's what they wanted.
X-Rocks.
So, all right, real quick, because we got to get to the injury front with our man with the Barry breakdown. But Matt, like you said, you don't want to get too far ahead. But there was, the conversation is that you're seeing, right now a little bit of a possible, not permanent changing of the guard, but just more teams in the conversation for ACC prominence, power. Being at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the top. I don't think there's any question about that, especially if Riley Leonard doesn't play. And even if he does play in this game, he's going to be limited. That's a high ankle sprain 2 weeks after it happens.
And the Seminoles can run.
Yeah, they have.
They will get after him.
They've got the best roster in the league, and I think they're playing better than anyone in the league. Now, does that mean they can't go to Pitt and stumble? Of course they could. I'm trying to figure out if they're going to fall somewhere in the second half. Where's it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who has enough of a roster and it's enough of a unique spot on the schedule where it could be difficult for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 89, Florida State, night game, destroyed. 24-10. We had 6 turnovers. It was Gino Torella starting as a freshman. You remember that? Gino Torella threw 3 interceptions. We had 3 fumbles inside the 5-yard line. 6 turnovers.
That was a good Florida State team.
It was. It was a great Florida State team. They finished number 2 in the country.
Right.
Who finished number 1? Oh, there it is.
There it is. I saw this collection.
I had to shoot that.
How did that even happen, by the way? Well, whatever.
What happened? That we finished number 1, they finished number 2? Because we beat Notre Dame at home. They were number 1.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all right, real quick. I just want to.
It's always good how you guys get that home game in the bowl season,
It wasn't no bowl game. It was the last game of the season. We played Notre Dame.
It was a regular season.
Regular season.
Who'd you play in the bowl? That year?
We beat Alabama for the championship.
In the Sugar Bowl.
In the Sugar Bowl,
right.
absolutely.
Okay.
I just want to throw this out just because at least social media is having a little fun with it. Jordan Travis could be on his way to Heisman consideration, right? Unbeaten team, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's Graham Mertz, that sturdy son of a gun. The Mertzman Heisman campaign in Gainesville may not really catch on until next year, but completion percentage right now, Graham Mertz 76%. Jordan Travis, 63%.
You know, Mia did this yesterday, right?
Pass it. Well, just if you look at them all, if you just it's worth repeating. Passing yards, 1,482.
Somebody tried to send us Joe Burrow versus Graham Mertz.
I saw that one too.
And
Believe
I
me,
just
I
started
saw that
laughing.
But when Mia did it, was like she's not disclosing who it was. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there just for Seminole Gator fans. They like to have stuff to argue about. I'm giving it to them. So basically, 76 completion percentage for Mertz, 63 for Travis, 1,900 nearly passing yards for Mertz, 1,482 for Jordan Travis. Yards per attempt are basically the same. Touchdowns are basically the same. 2 picks for Mertz, 1 pick for Travis.
So let me ask the one Gator fan on the show: would you trade Graham Mertz for Jordan Travis?
Hell no.
You wouldn't trade Graham Mertz.
You keep Mertz.
Yeah. Oh no. I thought the answer was the other way around.
You mean the other way around?
You misheard me.
Okay.
So
you almost lost your Gator card.
How geeked would you be if Graham Mertz beats Florida State this year?
Well,
I mean,
it's like we were just talking about during the break, and
I think
JJ
we'd all be happy.
JJ was basically saying, "I root for whoever has."
In Florida State, I root for whoever has the most to lose. As a Miami fan, so if Florida, let's say, is unbeaten, and
you're rooting
Florida
for
State's like 8-4, I cheer for Florida State. And this year, I'll be cheering for the Gators because Florida State has a lot more.
Look,
to
he's
lose.
not going to answer, but I'll answer for him.
Yeah.
If the Noles are 11-0. I think that game on his list would be he starts out with 52-20. That's his number 1 game of all time. His second game is the 97 game when they upset unbeaten Florida State.
32-29.
And I think his third game would be this game if that happened.
And look, I don't necessarily root against. I'm not like maniacal rooting against the other team, but it would be a trip. It would be fun if they could take him down, knock him down a peg, because there is a lot at stake for Florida State this year, and these are season savers for one football team, which is what Billy would be banking on, and then the other one would be a season wrecker for your rival, and that's what you're looking for.
I don't know if it would hurt. I don't know that they would be knocked out if they lost like one of those 97 games where they lost the last.
Yeah.
The last drive was a great game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they went in and beat unbeaten North Carolina.
I was about to say if they win the ACC.
I'm not sure they would still go to the playoffs.
Right. The biggest difference is there were only 2 teams going then. There's 4 going now. All right. We'll keep it rolling. Gio is in the house. Dr. George Barry with our Barry Breakdown.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
They'll hand it to Etienne toward the goal line into the end zone. Touchdown.
We were attacking.
Deep downfield, got a man. That's Christian Kirk. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
I thought we were really efficient.
Kind of figured some things out, who we are.
We want to be the number one defense.
That ball is picked off. That's Andre Sisco's got it to the 30s. This guy a ball hawk.
Defensively, creating takeaways and offense scoring.
We did our part. Momentum and the energy is really rolling for us, and we got to keep that going. We're excited for this Thursday.
Next up, New Orleans.
On the road.
Jaguars, Saints. On the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL.
The Internal Revenue Service is reported to be receiving $80 billion in additional funding for the 2022 tax year for unpaid tax enforcement. There has never been a budget increase this large in the history of the IRS. All of this funding is for more revenue officers and collecting delinquent taxes. If you owe the IRS, you have a short time to get your tax issues resolved or face financial devastation. J. David Tax Law is right here in Jacksonville and provides tax relief for all personal payroll and sales tax problems. They've achieved thousands of successful outcomes for their clients, and that's why their reputation speaks for itself. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, do your research to see why J. David Tax Law is the most effective option to relieve your tax burden. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Are you afraid to buy your next car? Well, have no fear because Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet offer Beaver's not-so-scary pricing. There's no monsters popping up in your rearview mirror with Beaver's peace of mind warranties. Check out thousands of vehicles for sale online and get answers to all your questions with no tricks and all the treats. I promise our team will take away all those fears. Just come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for Beaver's not-so-scary pricing.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Football season's in full throttle, and you still haven't tried Underdog Fantasy's Pick'em game yet? Underdog just extended a $500 new sign-up match, so now's the time. Here's how the game works. You pick between 2 to 5 players, select whether they'll go higher or lower on one of their stats, then do what you usually spend game day doing, watching football. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real cash. So head to Underdog Fantasy's easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code 1010XL, and right now you'll get your first deposit matched up to $500. Remember, that's Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code 1010XL. Underdog now matching sign-up deposits up to $500. That offer won't last forever. So use promo code 1010XL. You do have to be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ncbgambling.org.
Everyone's broken a phone, but not just anybody can fix one. Don't trust your phone to a fly-by-night shop. And don't try to fix it yourself. Let the experts at Batteries Plus keep you connected by replacing your screen, repairing your phone, or replacing the battery for you. Walk in anytime or make an appointment at batteriesplus.com and save $10. Trust the experts at Batteries Plus.
Man, I'm excited for RV City at Florida, Georgia.
But RV Heaven is just down the road, Island Oaks RV Resort.
That's off exit 333, right? Past McClenny?
Yep.
Will my kids like it?
They'll love it. Tons of fall events are coming, like Hocus Pocus Night and Spooky Island Halloween, plus live music and karaoke. You can stay in a cabin right on the premises. It's way cheaper and better than a hotel.
Where can I book our stay?
Visit islandoaksrvresort.com. That's islandoaksrvresort.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 18th, 2009, Tom Brady throws 5 second-quarter touchdowns against Tennessee, setting an NFL record for touchdown passes in one quarter.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Travis Etienne was a beast against the Colts on Sunday. The 5'10 Dynamo recorded 55 yards on 18 carries and added in 2 touchdowns in what was a much-needed performance for Jacksonville. When Etienne has the ball in his hands for the Teal and Black, he makes maneuvers that couldn't possibly be smoother. Travis Etienne is your Universal Roof and Contracting offensive player of the game.
Make sure your home is protected this hurricane season by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. Right now, get 15% off your roof replacement and repairs, plus 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CVC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. At ABBQ, they are turning up the heat on game day with a spread that'll make your taste buds do a victory dance. Football and barbecue always play together. I'm talking mouth-watering wings, juicy burgers, and tantalizing appetizers that'll keep your hunger in check as you cheer for your team. Come for the food and football, and stay for the teal-colored Jell-O shots. Your destination for a mouth-watering barbecue and an unforgettable game day. ABBQ. Meet and drink with us.
The shoulder is one of the body's largest joints, prone to a variety of injuries and conditions that cause pain. Dr. George Bari here, and at Bari Orthopedics, we know an active lifestyle can lead to serious joint pain. We can help with an accurate diagnosis and treatment for a full spectrum of shoulder injuries, from arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, or rotator cuff and labral tearing. Bari Orthopedics can help. If you or a loved one suffers from shoulder pain, don't hesitate to call or log on to bariorthopedics.com.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jacksonville native and Creekside Knights product Darius Williams is having a tremendous start to his 2023 season. Williams has recorded an interception in 3 straight games for the Jaguars defense. Jaguars defensive coordinator Mike Caldwell on the key to success for Darius Williams.
I think just the hard work. Came in last year, had the shoulder a little bit with playing inside, and we moved him outside. And I think he's comfortable in the system, comfortable what we're asking him to do, and he's showing that he has good hands. You know, former basketball player, good eye coordination. So he's a guy that if the ball's around him, he's going to be able to make a play on it.
Jaguars DC Mike Caldwell on Darius Williams. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
Gio in the house, ready to rock and roll.
He's dancing a little bit right now.
Yeah, he is.
He's like swaying a little.
Fired up, in a good mood. Kicked Big Circe out of his chair. He's all ready to go. Dr. George Bari. He of Bari Orthopedics. Welcome in, Gio. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great, man. But we're just like every other Jaguar fan out there, or those that choose to remain neutral when we cover the team like we do, right? All worried about whether or not Trevor Lawrence is going to play in this game tomorrow night. That is the biggest concern. Now, you looked at a little bit of video of him moving around yesterday. You looked at the brace that he has on. Start with that brace and explain to people what he's got.
I mean, he has it's almost like a generic brace where it's made to protect the knee for many injuries. So it's not as a lot of the braces, they look the same, so sometimes it's hard to tell, or they have multi-function, right? One MCL and ACL, etc. So it's hard to tell exactly why he's wearing it because we don't know why he's hurting, but he has a generic knee sprain, which can mean many things.
Well, for what it's worth, Evan Ingram kind of let it slip yesterday when I caught up with him. Low-grade MCL sprain.
Yeah, which is actually when Hacker called me for after show,
right?
I had mentioned it possibly could be an MCL sprain. So yeah, I mean, just with
bone bruise and low-grade MCL sprain.
So with that twisting injury, that's what you worry about, and so these braces, you see the metal stuff on the side. O linemen wear them to prevent an MCL injury, and so he has that to prevent it from getting worse. Low grade, so you assume maybe grade 1. He can probably play as long as it doesn't hurt. The question is, of course, when you're grade 1. If you do get hurt again, you're at increased risk of making it worse, right? So do you play and roll the dice and hopefully nothing happens and he has a week off to rest, or do you just shut him down now? He has 2 weeks to rest because you have a bye week and then,
Okay, so for everyone out there, explain what the low grade MCL strain is. What happens to the ligament when it's strained like that, and how does it recover?
Well, it's at a weakened state, right? So it's at a weakened state.
So it's been stretched.
It's been stretched, right? So 1, 2 is 1, 2, 3, 3 is completely torn, and 1 and 2 are different grades of stretching. 1 being the least. Just time is how it's going to scar in and heal, but it's injured, right? So now you have the risk of making it worse if you do get an injury. The brace will help prevent it. It doesn't necessarily 100% stop it. There's plenty of people who injure their MCL with a brace on, but definitely does help, and it's been proven to help. The studies do show. And then the question is going to be, do you want to roll the dice and go for it, or let them take off and make sure that doesn't get injured?
What's fascinating, and I kind of want to break these down, and we know for certain that Walker Little, it's an MCL sprain. And I believe his was grade 1, grade 2. They expect him back day to day, but really week to week. So if he's not back for the Steelers, he would be back for the 49ers is kind of the assessment right now. Zay Jones, no one has really reported or said exactly what the knee injury is. The assessment that I know a lot of my colleagues and our colleagues of reporters have kind of deducted is potentially bone bruise for him to miss 2.5 weeks, come back, re-aggravate it, potentially be able to go this week but not having practice, so bone bruise. And now with Trevor, it's a combination of the two. So can you explain for us, Doc, the difference between an MCL sprain and a bone bruise?
Yeah, a bone bruise is a contusion, right? Just like when you get punched in the arm, you get a bruise. Same thing happens inside your bones. So the two bones, the femur and the tibia, they hit each other at the moment when his knee got twisted. And then you get internal bleeding in the bone, and you don't see anything on X-ray. But then you get an MRI, and you can see it on MRI. We say it lights up, right? So it shows up on MRI. That's how you diagnose a bone bruise. It's very not much to do acutely for a bone bruise because it's just time. It's just like a bruise in your arm. You just takes time for it to get better. Now, occasionally bone bruises take a long time. They don't get better. You get repeat MRIs at 3, 4, 5, 6 months. They're still lighting up. Then there's procedures that you can do, inject PRP, inject stem cells, etc., to make it go away. But those are worst case scenario. It's not improving like it should.
That becomes chronic.
It becomes a chronic issue. It does happen. I've had a handful of patients where that happens. But usually people do improve on their own with just time with a bone bruise.
All right, Dr. George Bari, fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews. You can log on BariOrthopedics.com, see what they have working here all over the First Coast. You got a question for Gio, free medical advice. It's on the house, courtesy of XL Primetime. You can hit the text line at 641-1010. I do have a question from last week that I want to throw at you, Gio, but let's go to Brock Bowers, and we're the prized tight end, okay? And the guy that has made play after play after play for the Bulldogs. They've got an off week this week, but he had the high ankle sprain. He's now going to have the tightrope surgery. So explain to folks what that is.
So high ankle sprain is your syndesmosis. He has a syndesmotic injury. Your syndesmosis is the ligaments that connect your tibia and your fibula down near your ankle. He has a sprain, and originally I don't think they mentioned surgery. I think that's when you get a high ankle sprain, you test it. You get an MRI, and you can we call a squeeze test, et cetera, to see if it's unstable. You can get a test with MRI. If it's unstable and enough ligaments are torn, then you can discuss possibly doing surgery. The surgery, there's actually two ways of doing it. One is the quote-unquote webbing or the tightrope. The tightrope, we call it, the actual name is the tightrope, and you shoot it across. It's like a suture. People say webbing or whatnot. And it connects the two, the tibia and the fibula, so it doesn't shift.
Pulls it together.
You also you could put plate and screws. You could put a plate with 2 screws that shoot across of it. That's also acceptable. That was the first thing before the tightrope.
That's what they did with Tua, right?
Tua, they did the webbing.
Okay, all right.
But you can't do screws. They usually say sports guys like the webbing. Trauma guys, if you get this during a trauma, like you broke your ankle and you go to a trauma surgeon, they like the screws. I think it's just what you're comfortable dealing with. Although there's pros and cons to each one, and studies will show why one is better than the other. I think webbing is becoming, the tightrope is becoming, more people are using it as opposed to the screws. But either one is acceptable.
Now, I remember both those guys. Jalen Hurts had it too. The following year, the year Tua had it, then Jalen Hurts had it. It took those guys a good 5 or 6 weeks before they were ready to play. I mean, that's you've got. If he's lucky, he's going to be ready for the playoffs, right? If they're in the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, this does take a while. So when I went to that the college NFL doctor's course, me and my buddy, he's the doc for the Chippewas. So we went, and we're talking to Ken Anderson, who's a big-time, Green Bay Packers doc, but does a lot of the ankles. He's a foot and ankle doc. He's like, yeah, let him play it 4 or 5 weeks. We kind of looked at each other like, man, that's fast. But it is very fast because the normal population, we don't let them go out that quickly. But there's accelerated rehab that you can do, and usually it's 5 or 6 weeks minimum before you can go out and play. I think one of the guys you mentioned did come back at 4 weeks.
Because I feel like Tua came back in 3 weeks when we're talking got back to practice.
Maybe to practice.
Yeah,
Jalen
got back
took
to practice
a while.
because that was between the end of the season and the championship game.
Yeah. No, that was that. I don't know.
Yeah. I thought he came back to practice within 3 weeks. Anyway, it blew my mind.
Yeah. Anyway, they were both James Andrews
and
guys.
remember, Mac Jones in the pros had the high ankle sprain and came back in 3 weeks.
3 weeks is extremely fast.
Yeah.
Look, not everybody does that. It's like Adrian Peterson coming back from an ACL at 6 months, right? Not normal, rare, but it can happen. But it's not what to be expected every single time. I think the earliest you're probably hoping for is 5 or 6 weeks to go back and play.
All right, let's hit the news of the day. Back in the National Football League, Anthony Richardson will be shut down for the remainder of the season, Doc, with an AC joint surgery forthcoming. He sustained an injury to the AC joint in his right throwing shoulder, and he will have surgery on that shoulder. Believe it's this week. Here is the most Jim Irsay quote ever that was given to Jory Epstein with regards to Anthony Richardson. Quote, like John Landau said about Bruce Springsteen back in 1974, I've seen the future of rock and roll, and his name is Bruce Springsteen. Well, I've seen the future of the NFL, and his name is Anthony Richardson, and I believe it. Is Anthony Richardson going to be the same player when he returns?
Most people do very well after an AC joint reconstruction. There's always a risk when you have surgery or when you have an injury that you always have some residual pain and it affects you. But I will say the majority of people that get AC joint reconstruction do very well. And as long as that thing heals, and the strength will be back to what it was before. Coincidentally, when you do an AC joint, the most common way is you drill a hole in the clavicle and in the coracoid, and you put that webbing in between it, right? And you tighten it down.
All comes back to the webbing.
And you could put a graft to strengthen it, et cetera. But those are the most common way to do it.
But the rehab is the extensive part of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, so
the whole procedure.
The whole procedure is the rehab. You put it in, the suture, the webbing holds it together until your body scars in and makes its own.
That takes a couple months.
That takes you're talking about 8 to 12 weeks, and then the suture is not needed anymore. It's there for temporary fixation until your body heals itself, and then you do therapy usually about 5 months, 4 months, 6 months in that area.
All right, real quick, at least want to work one of these questions in. If we miss your question, we will have it on Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30. It is the Breaking Bones regular Sunday slot. Wondering if PRP injections could help patella tendonitis.
Yes, absolutely. It does very well for patella tendonitis.
And you've got souped up PRP.
I have a PRP double spin system. Wherever you go, I do recommend going to a double spin system because it concentrates the platelets. You don't lose any. The single spin system, you lose a lot of the platelets. So if you decide to go someplace, I actually had a patient call me, ask me, do I do double spin because he did his own research. And I said, yeah, I do. But if you do research and you look up the studies, the double spin system is far superior than a single spin.
All right, that's the way to go. Dr. George Bari on Instagram. Definitely check out Breaking Bones anywhere, right, Gio?
Yeah, Google, Apple, Spotify, and 1010XL.
And then BariOrthopedics.com. All right, we will talk to you Sunday morning.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so he is out. If you have any more questions, you can shoot them to us. We will try and work it in on Breaking Bones. We definitely are here to help. That's just what we do on XL Primetime. All right, Big Sirs, before you go, one more thought. A day away, you're hearing, whether or not Trevor can get out there and be ready to go. But a thought a day before when you're getting on the plane, getting ready to go play a Thursday night game. What are you thinking?
Well, it's a quick turnover. I don't like these games essentially because it puts the player at risk. A lot of people they say, well, they're professional stuff, but it takes your body at least 48 hours to heal after a game. I mean, if you're playing or whatever. So these guys essentially are working on 24 hours to play a game, on Thursday night. So, but, you signed up for it, and I just hope nobody gets hurt. This team has to stay clean here. Offensive line's got to protect Trevor at all costs. They got to keep a clean pocket for him. Whatever you need to do to keep Trevor upright, you got to do it. And I think defensively we're going to handle business. Derek Carr doesn't scare anybody, and I think that ultimately we're going to come away with a victory, a much-needed victory. We got to stay, close to the Chiefs and the Dolphins.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I love it. All right, game day tomorrow. Have your game face on.
Oh, absolutely.
You'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, Big Sur's out the door. We head into the 2 o'clock hour. Our high school half hour coming up. It's XL Primetime on a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Get opinions, observations, and stories from David Garage.
Let's make a play for 1010XL.
Brought to you by your local Napa Auto Care Centers. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today.
Let's go, Googans. Let's go, Googans.
On 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Spend less on a new home comfort system with Fenwick Home Services Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing's automatic savings event. You can get up to $1,500 back on qualifying systems, plus up to 20% off select new system installs. Call Fenwick Home Services today for a free estimate and a free second opinion before this event ends. Hurry and visit FenwickHomeservices.com or call Fenwick today at 904-977-8519.
If you're having people over for the game, let First Coast Home Pros clean your home before your guests arrive. Their maid services make everything sparkle and shine so you can enjoy the festivities without the stress of cleaning house. FirstCoastHomePros.com. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Huge Glock sale going on now at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Stop in today with prices on Glock sidearms so good we can't even say it on this radio commercial. No lines, no hassle, only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You know, real estate research right now says housing prices are still rising slowly and inventory is still below historical averages. That means if you think your home right now is unsellable or there's a host of problems, then you haven't met Chad and Sandy, who will make sure those problems become promises. Chad and Sandy are the only real estate experts we trust and recommend with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts. Derek and Ashley out in St. John's Harbor said we were building a new home, but we had a big problem. 2 months on the market, and we had no showings and no offers with another agent. We were super stressed. Then we heard Chad and Sandy guarantee sale on the radio and hired them. They created an amazing plan to sell quickly and maximize price. The home sold in 10 days for more money than the previous realtor had listed. That's the promise and the proof of ChadandSandy.com. Go there today, ChadandSandy.com, or call them in office, 904-414-6200.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
For honest and reliable automotive care at your convenience, visit any Famous Automotive or Famous Quick Lube. With 20 locations open 7 days a week, they also offer fleet accounts for your business. Visit any Famous Automotive and Famous Quick Lube.
Arthritis is the most common cause of joint pain in America and affects more than 50 million adults. Dr. George Bari here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. For reliable diagnosis and comprehensive treatment options, come see me and the specialists at Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. With more than 35 years of experience in orthopedics, our team delivers compassionate and dedicated care to relieve your pain. Set up a visit today by scheduling online or calling the office. Log on to bariorthopedics.com with locations across Jacksonville.
Get into the game at Best Bet. Come enjoy the best in-car games, hospitality, and fun at Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park. You don't have to be a poker pro to have a great time. Featuring poker games of all limits and easy-to-learn games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and Pai Gow. Wager on exciting simulcast races and enjoy delicious food and drink. Our card rooms are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. and 24 hours on Saturday and Sunday. Details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
High Flying Jacko here, and every Monday, kids eat free with every paid adult entree.
Us kids love Woody's too.
We'll see you at Woody's today.
At Woody's Barbecue, it's what we do. Let's eat.
Hey, David here with Royal Pest Services. It's that time of year where we're starting to bring things down from the attic. Along with that comes the critters that have been hiding up there year-round. Go to RoyalPestServices.com or give us a call at 886-2847. That's 886-BUGS.
How many furlongs are there in a mile? The answer next.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
There are 8 furlongs to a mile, and each furlong 660 feet, totaling 5,280 feet.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer says he broke his foot in frustration after Saturday's 41-39 loss to the Florida Gators.
Certainly that was a gut-wrenching emotional loss, and I was frustrated and kicked something that I shouldn't have kicked and thought I was okay, but adrenaline of the game wore off, and before anybody starts the narrative like the head football coach is frustrated and lost his poise and all that, no, I care. I care about these kids, and I was really upset on Saturday night because I didn't do enough to help them get over the hump and win the football game.
South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer. It's 74 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
4 minutes past the 2 o'clock hour as we get ready for the high school half hour, brought to you by I-9 Sports. Coming up in just a little bit, Leon Searcy out the door, Mia O'Brien, Matt Hayes, Joe C., JJ LaSelva with you until 3. And would like to note, programming note, 3-hour program tomorrow.
Yes.
And then kickoff show gets
Yes.
underway at 3 p.m., 3 to 5:15 before Jaguars pregame programming
And on
takes
location
over.
tomorrow.
On location as well, boys.
Yeah, we're at Players Grill tomorrow. So if you guys want to hold up with us, we would love to have you out there. As a matter of fact, 2 things going on tomorrow. Players Grill, where we will be, and then Taylor Dahl will be hosting a watch party with Bud Light at Monkey's Uncle. And that'll take place tomorrow night. Monkey's Uncle, good little pub, man.
Got that right.
And so you can go there and you can register your name to win tickets to a future Jaguar game, Bud Light swag, Bud Light specials. It'll all be happening, Monkey's Uncle with Taylor, tomorrow night. So make sure if you're planning, if you're anywhere at the beaches, head on over to Monkey's Uncle and get in on some of that action, which will be fun. And then we will be at the Players Grill, which we would love to see you if you are out and about, as we will be cranking and having fun.
Seeing plenty of Jags fans on X and Instagram that have already made the journey out to New Orleans. So, no, plenty of you will be out there. We will, of course, have boots on the ground, too, for tomorrow's Thursday night game. But I can't help but let this segment go by, boys, and not address the notification I just got from ESPN Fantasy Football, which reads as follows. Matt, you missed this one earlier. Saints wide receivers could enjoy career days against Jaguars' suspect pass defense.
That's kind of fair, I think.
You really
Despite
do?
leading the NFL in takeaways?
Well, I mean, you got Buster out there.
Well, yeah, Buster's
It might be a
week.
problem.
Yeah, a week, and that part is true. I don't think we should dismiss that, especially if they decide maybe they move Trey Herndon out. Who knows exactly what they do? I think that weakens two positions as opposed to one. I think they probably need to be – Mike Caldwell would definitely be cautious on that front. But at the same time, I think to myself, that's an underperforming passing team right now, okay? Underperforming. Michael Thomas is just now getting back after I don't know how many seasons he's had affected by injury. Olave is dangerous. There's no doubt about that. But this is a football team that's at the very least proven on the back end that they're pretty solid and sound. Thursday night game, home team, loud. Yeah, there are definitely some advantages for the Saints side of this, but I am curious to see what this secondary can do. And
the Jags are dead last in the NFL in yards allowed passing.
Yeah, so they do give up their share. Yeah, and so
I think that's kind of more of the fantasy football thing than anything, right?
Yeah, it might be, but that's a true number right there, the one that JJ just threw out, because
more than Broncos, more than the Bears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is I would think.
Broncos gave up 70 pieces.
And the majority of that's with Tyson Campbell.
Yeah, but also you can take a game as an example this past week. They're up 31-6.
Exactly. A lot of that's garbage.
Yeah, they let some yards go.
Quarterback stats can be very deceiving.
Yeah,
maybe that's what they're talking about then. Mm-hmm. Maybe they think the Jags are going to win easy.
But
and
in
it'll be all garbage
fantasy she was talking about fantasy football, though. It doesn't matter if it's garbage time. In fantasy,
anytime.
You still get points.
That's kind of my point. Yeah. That's kind of my
looking
point.
for yards. And so that's really what you have to find out and it goes back to the way I was looking at this last game, is that if this team can score, and it's hugely important in a game on the road in New Orleans, that's a loud crowd, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They are going to be on Bourbon Street and funneled into the Superdome straight from the French Quarter, okay? Yep. They will walk that however many blocks that is, and they will go in there.
Not many.
With fervor, exactly. 3-4 blocks, and they will be partying and singing the Saints go marching on. And so they will get in there and they'll be loud. If that team is to get on top of that scoreboard early, it's going to be tough for this offensive line.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to protect Trevor.
Yep.
It's going to be obviously Cam Jordan and company will look at that opportunity to maybe tee off on Trev a little bit. So, yeah, getting those points early, really, really important.
Shocking them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. They have to.
Getting out there and just scoring immediately, first drive, shock them.
One other note for those of you who play fantasy or just following the National Football League as a whole, Jimmy Garoppolo won't practice today for the Raiders with a back injury. Not obviously a good sign for his availability this weekend. And Deshaun Watson, who reportedly was cleared 3 weeks ago with that rotator cuff injury, and I meant to ask Doc about this. Now he has rotator cuff bruising, Joe C., and he is not practicing today, and his status is up in the air once again. And so you've got one former Clemson quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who says he's going to do everything he can to be out there tomorrow, and he'll play with the brace if he's got to play with the brace. He knows he's got to be out there. And then you have Deshaun Watson, who was cleared but said, yeah, no, I don't want to risk it. Now 3 weeks running.
Yeah, this is basically I'm pretty sure this is a 4-week window, because didn't they have an off week between the first injury, sat out, could have played, sat out, and now perhaps sitting out again. I believe that's a 4-week run. And I'm telling you, he does have guaranteed money, but he wants to make sure that he's 100% healthy anytime he steps out on the field.
Sure, I would too if I was him.
Yeah, I get that part of it.
He said today that he was planning on playing last week, and then Saturday night they gave him an MRI, and it said it was a rotator cuff. They sat him out. But he's not practicing, but he's not ruling himself out. Also
now,
spotted at practice.
Did you say last Saturday? Because it was odd. That was diagnosed.
Like he was expected to play, and they found out it was rotator cuff.
Yeah, because I thought he had that bruised rotator cuff diagnosis way before that, and for whatever reason I was thinking PJ was ruled out before Saturday. I didn't realize that.
And Jalen Ramsey back at practice.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray and Budda Baker as well.
And
Kyler actually tweeted practicing today.
Yeah.
After the news had already been broken.
Jalen's window has been open, but they don't believe he'll play this Sunday. But expect him back within 10 days' time.
Yeah, before the bye.
Yeah, exactly. All right, XL Primetime. We roll into our high school half hour. Thanks to I-9 Sports. Thanks to Gatorade, which you can pick up at your local Winn-Dixie. We'll look at some games from last week, look ahead. And we've got one of the guys who's got it going at Riverside. Coach Antoine Nicholas will join us coming up on XL Primetime.
cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. He brings intelligence from the opposition.
Still working for MI6, or have you decided to join the 21st century?
His car line takes you behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
That's top secret.
On 1010XL.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Want even more excitement on game day? Then test your skills at Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. Simple. You can turn $10 into $250 just like that. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Now listen to this. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entries in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, when you go to prizepicks.com/1010XL and use the code 1010XL, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. That's right, $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Canes dropped their second overall in their 5th straight to North Carolina on Saturday night when they lost 41-31 in Chapel Hill. Miami led at half but gave up huge passing touchdowns to UNC star Devontae Walker. Walker ended the night with 3 touchdowns. Miami looks to end their skid next week at home against Clemson at 8 p.m.
There's no better time to be a Jags fan, especially when you're a MyGate Rewards member. Gate is giving you the chance to meet the man, Trevor Lawrence. You and 3 of your friends can meet Trevor Lawrence in person at the stadium. Entering is easy. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, for every 5 Gatorade products you purchase, you'll be entered for a chance to win. See store for details. Gate, your hometown convenience store.
Hacker here, and look, football season is in full swing, and no game day setup is complete without the Sausage Dude sausage. I'm a sausage guy, and the Sausage Dude sausage is the best sausage I've ever had. Try their 4 terrific flavors, including Polish, Hungarian, beer bratwurst with jalapeno, and my personal favorite, the Italian today, by picking them up at any Publix in the Jacksonville area. Football and sausage, it's a winning combination. Go get the Sausage Dude sausage at any Publix in the Jacksonville area right now.
When you hear a great call on 1010XL,
Telephone communique.
it's covered by the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
If you'd like any further information, just call me.
Listen for great phone interviews all day on the All-Pro Roofing phone line on 1010XL.
Safe Harbor Seafood and Market is one of the largest sources of fresh local seafood in the Southeast. This football season, when the family wants fresh seafood for game day, stock up at Safe Harbor Seafood Market and Restaurant, located in Old Mayport, or the new location in Crescent Beach. Award-winning seafood right in your backyard. Family-owned and operated for generations. Safe Harbor Seafood and Market. For store hours, go online to safeharbor-seafood.com.
Take a break from monotony and enjoy the taste of a fine Perdomo cigar. Join us at Tobacco Cove this Saturday from 1 to 4 to experience the flavor of Perdomo. Come try the different selection of these beautiful Nicaraguan cigars. Relax and enjoy yourself in our lounge with food, prizes, and great deals on Perdomo cigars. Tobacco Cove this Saturday from 1 to 4 for a taste of the good life.
Do you
Feel a ghastly presence in your septic tank this Halloween? A septic emergency is spookier than a haunted house. But fear not. Duck Duck Rooter is here to rescue you from the depths of septic despair.
I'm Vlad, the Valiant Septic Tech, ready to cast out the demons from your septic system. If your toilet's acting possessed or your pipes are stirring up a witch's brew, we got the magic wand to fix it all.
Call Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic tank pumping today.
Hey, college students, this one's for you. With the new Jaguars College Pass, you can get exclusive ticketing offers all season long, from discounts to great last-minute deals. To join, simply sign up with your .edu email address. Registration is free, and you only pay for the offers you accept. So it's the perfect way to save and spend your Sundays at the bank. To join the Jaguars for the best games and biggest plays, visit jaguars.com/college pass today.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jeweler for 45 years with GIA-certified diamonds and gemstones, fashion jewelry in gold, and the latest styles. Also know that we have a full-service jewelry repair and restoration department, and our jewelers can get most repairs done in a couple of days. If you need a ring-sized or stone replaced or chain repaired, we can do it. Monahan's also buys gold and diamonds, so bring those in and we'll pay you top dollar. And remember, we can finish most jewelry repairs in a day or two. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's the high school half hour on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Gatorade. Fuel up with Gatorade at your local Winn-Dixie. And I-9 Sports, the way youth sports should be.
We say thanks to both of them for bringing you high school football right here on 1010XL with our high school half hour. And we also like to name our Gatorade Player of the Week, which we will do a little bit later on. But right now, I'll tell you what, one great story is happening right there at Riverside. So let's talk to the head coach.
Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Coach Antoine Nicholas joins us now. Another big win this past Friday night, this time over Jackson after the upset the week earlier. Welcome in, Coach. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just taking it one day at a time.
Hey, that's all you can do. And I tell you what, it has been one day at a time, getting better and better for you guys. I think it's a good story, a program that O.J. Small did a good job building. You were part of that staff, and now you're heading that staff. How exciting has it been for you personally to get Riverside on a roll?
Oh, man, it's been awesome experience seeing it from the head coach seat versus being offense coordinator and being an assistant. Definitely a great atmosphere as well as a good structured environment to come into for the support from the admin, the staff, and the athletic director and athletic department. So it's right at home for me.
Antoine, what I think is amazing is that you guys have won in a variety of ways. You stump Andrew Jackson 47-8. You sneak past Trinity in a defensive battle 14-12. What has been the strength of this group so far this year?
I guess the versatility that we have, the ability for is winning in those multiple ways. We still haven't played our best game yet. It's still areas that we can grow in. I think the biggest thing is just the passion for the guys playing with and just flying around, making plays and being able to win in those different ways for showcasing our ability. We're just trying to get it going on all cylinders and actually playing a complete game.
Antoine, I want to circle back to the second week of September. A really tough loss to Mandarin, 50-20. You got young guys in that team who may not have ever dealt with something like that. How do you deal with guys like that, and how do you get them prepared, and how have you guys now responded so well over the last 6 weeks?
Well, it was, very competitive. We've been teaching that ever since, June with our summer workouts, just competing, getting out there. They was very excited about that. And even in that game, we started fast. We drove down the field, first possession, and scored on them. Just had some turnovers. We actually had 5 turnovers in that game. And you can't possibly win any game with that type of, situation. So we battled back. We're a very confident group as well as we're young, but we see the benefits for us, the hard work, and just getting out there and competing.
We're talking with Antoine Nicholas, coach of Riverside, as the Generals keep it rolling. And I want to know what you had to say to your players between the win over Trinity and the win over Andrew Jackson to kind of keep them level-headed, because, Coach, that was a pretty big win a couple of Fridays ago.
Yeah, it's always a big game when we playing Trinity. I think they was up for it, as well as they starting to see, the benefits of the hard work that they put in, as well as just gelling a little bit more as a team. I think we understand what we have and just taking it, 1 week at a time. 1-0, we have 24-hour rule where we celebrate and we get back to it. I think just the ability, as well as the level-headed guys that we have on our staff, as well as on our team, for is taking it 1 week at a time and just trying to get better, never getting complacent or comfortable.
Antoine, obviously offense is your area of expertise. Who are some guys on the offensive side of the ball that have shined this year and brought you guys to that 6-2 record?
Oh, man. First grade, they're definitely one of my areas, but I was a defensive coordinator before I was offensive coordinator.
Oh, wow.
As well as special teams. But definitely on the offense side of the ball, man, we have multiple players, man, that can make plays, from one of our senior wide receivers, Ray John White. And came up in the last two games for his big catches for us. Of course, everybody know about Tayshawn Gelsey, man. He's just an athlete all the way around, man. Just a great, awesome kid, man. Miles Kendrick's been making big plays, explosive plays, all-purpose yards, as well as on the interview stat game. Man, the list go on. We have Glenn Foreman. Glenn Foreman's been stepping in, taking the reins, learning a new system. Coming from a new school last year, transferred to us. Kevontae Sharo, our running backs, RBU. Kevontae Sharo been carrying the load, along with Sherman Davis. Came up big. He actually had the winning touchdown versus Trinity. We got RJ Bertrand. He come over, as well as play on the defensive side of the ball for us up front. We have Asian Merritt, Andreas Washington. The list goes on for us, the talent that we have. Not to mention, a great sophomore, a couple of great sophomores in Derek Bridges and Xavier Hilliard. He actually had a big catch on that last drive versus Trinity Christian, and a touchdown earlier on the feed ball.
Love it. Love the young guys producing. Antoine, what's the focus right now? The last 2 weeks, last two games of this regular season, Sandalwood and Reebok, before you're heading into the playoffs. What do you got to do the next couple of weeks?
The biggest thing is just getting it, clicking on all cylinders. There's some games where, running game provided, more opportunity for us. Passing game, maybe it started slow. We're just trying to get it clicking on all cylinders going into the playoffs. A solid defensive game. We have moments where we showcase our ability and what we can do, and then mental mistakes where it's giving up big plays that, they'll take the credit for, but you really, when you look at film, it's mental error, which, that's what they should capitalize on. Just playing a solid, complete game, correcting our mistakes, the little small details that we maybe overlooked or made early on in the season, and just getting better from week to week, just trying to dominate and prepare ourselves mentally as well as physically for this push for its playoff.
Invite them out, because you got the home game against Sandalwood, 6:30 kick. Tell them how they can be part of it.
Oh, yeah. Always come out to the backyard. That's 1200 South McDuff. We're going to keep it going live. We're going to have the can and the grill going and everything, man. It's a great atmosphere. We're going to turn it up and drop that bass at the end.
Crazy to think, Coach. Just 2 more games for you boys in the regular season. Obviously, I know the postseason is already on the horizon for y'all, but this is the home finale. So is this going to be senior night?
Oh, yes. It's senior night. Man, it's definitely going to be one of those emotional, great atmosphere. The family can come out and so forth. So we looking for a good turnout, good crowd, as well as a good show against Sandalwood. And I'm just excited about getting better and better every day.
And hear what he said now. Drop that bass. So be ready if you're going out there to Riverside. Listen, Coach, we appreciate it. Antoine Nicholas, best of luck. Keep it rolling.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.
All right, man. That's good. And they get it going. They create an atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No question
and-
about it.
Yeah, and so
that's a great little field there.
Yeah. Oh,
Tucked
yeah.
in the trees. It's really nice.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you got the backyard, the graveyard. We got all these different nicknames and traditions surrounding our either city schools, our area schools, whatever it might be. We got to get ready for Justin Barney.
We do. We got to span the wide world of the high school football ranks. It should be noted we do not have a 10-10XL game of the week this week. We are on a bye, just like Florida, Georgia, and about a dozen area schools. Next week, though, obviously Florida, Georgia throws the high school football slate into a bit of a funk. So we have an exciting twist on the 10-10XL game of the week. You're going to want to stay tuned to the 10-10XL social channels to learn more about. Justin Barney on the other side. This is XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. He's not the Department of Defense that holds the line.
The leader of the elite task force for the DSS.
It's the defensive player of the game.
Intercepted!
Catch the superior fence and rail defensive player of the game on 1010XL.
Key Buick GMC receives special financing on GMC's rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months, 2.9% for 48 months, 3.9% for 60 months, and even 5.9% for 72 months. With a $2,500 Buick and GMC purchase, loyalty, in addition to $1,250 GM bonus cash. Whenever you purchase a brand new vehicle from Key, whether it's a Buick or GMC, it always comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Lauren Brooks here. Tired of joint pain holding you back? Try BioTarget from Injury Care Centers. This treatment will prolong the life of your joints by targeting the root of your pain and delivering more regenerative cells to the affected area, ensuring faster and more effective healing, making BioTarget the most advanced regenerative treatment. For a limited time, BioTarget starts as low as $499. Call Injury Care Centers or visit GoBioTarget.com. That's GoBioTarget.com.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Life is short, so eat better pizza at 5 Star Pizza. You want pizza that's bigger, better, and faster? Then get 5 Star Pizza. They also got wings, cheesy sticks, garlic rolls, and they'll deliver it to you right now at 5 Star Pizza.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we want it, we got to bring it. My thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
Mr. Rooter,
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars. Don't forget to ask for Brackish Vodka when you enjoy your favorite signature cocktails at Dos Gatos.
Problems followed by promises followed by proof. That's the game plan for Chad and Sandy. When it comes time for you to sell your home, there is no problem that they can't promise to fix and ultimately give you the proof. Maybe you have a growing family or you're working from home and you need more space. Trust Chad and Sandy. They're the real estate expert that I would trust and recommend for the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Take Randall and Tammy in Keystone Heights. They say we needed to sell fast to move closer to mom, who needed help. Sadly, our home was listed with another realtor for over 190 days. We heard Chad and Sandy's guarantee on the radio. We hired them. They launched an amazing marketing plan, sold our home in less than 30 days. We left as soon as the offer was official, and Chad and Sandy handled all the rest. That promise, if they don't sell your home, they will buy it. Call the agents I trust and recommend. Chad and Sandy at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
Bowden Eye & Associates is here to tackle your family eye care needs like a pro. Hicken here. They're not just about glasses and contact, folks. No. They're about providing a complete eye exam that can detect more than you can imagine. It's like reading the defense, my friends, with a complete eye exam. Bowden Eye can monitor and even discover hidden medical conditions. They've got the playbook to keep you in top shape with 3 convenient locations across town. Bowden Eye has a First Coast covered.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Will we see Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence tomorrow night against the Saints?
I'm going to do everything I can to be out there. I feel a lot better today than I would have thought, so I like how I'm progressing, and I'm going to do everything I can to be out there on Thursday.
Trevor practiced in a limited fashion on Tuesday with a brace on his left knee. Trevor was asked after practice about the progress of his injury.
It's progressed really well, though, the past 24, 48 hours, so really like where it's at now.
If Trevor Lawrence is unable to go tomorrow night, 6-year NFL veteran C.J. Beathard would start in his place. Kickoff for Thursday Night Football tomorrow night against the Saints is at 8:15, right here on 1010XL. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. It's the high school half hour on XL Primetime, brought to you by Gatorade. Fuel up with Gatorade at your local Winn-Dixie. And I-9 Sports, the way youth sports should be.
You can definitely count on I-9 Sports getting it done for you, keeping the kids active. Get on out. You got seasoned sports year-round, ages 3 to 18, and it's the way youth sports should be. Just log on i9sports.com, and we've got our Gatorade Player of the Week that we will give out in just a little bit. But first,
let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Our guy keeping tabs of high school sports up and down the First Coast from Channel 4. It's Justin Barney on the All-Pro Roofing hotline. Jay Barn, how we doing?
Not too bad. Counting down the weeks until the regular season is over in high school football, and it is creeping up on us. Just 3 regular season weeks left to go. Blows by fast.
We just said to head coach Antoine Nicholson. Mm-hmm. I always get that one confused. Mm-hmm. From Riverside, I can't believe they only have 2 regular season games left. It snuck up on us real quick.
Yeah, Riverside is one of those. Mandarin's another one. I mean, a lot of teams are right at that finish line. Bowls is another one. I mean, 2 regular season games left to go. We got a lot of teams off this week. Probably one of the worst weeks of high school football schedule-wise that I've seen for a big setup for next week. A lot of district games that'll decide playoff spots and championships a week from now, and a lot of Thursday night games next week due to Georgia, Florida in town. So it's going to be a exciting next week of football. Not this week, not so much.
At Justin Barney TV on Twitter, or X, I should say, and newsforjax.com/sports. The Bartram Creekside game, did it deliver in your opinion? Now, the team that has won more often won, but still is a pretty good game.
Yeah, good game. It came down to the fourth quarter. Bartram's defense took over at the finish, and I thought Bartram would win that game. Those games seem to be always close, or something weird happens in that game, and defense set the tone in that one. Bartram, a little bit different look this year, new head coach in Corey Johns, a new system in terms of running the ball a little bit more than they're throwing it. Jaden Weatherly in at quarterback last week over the banged-up Riley Trillo. Bartram's got a big one on Thursday night, and Creekside has a big one on Friday against Fleming Island. Creekside, with how the playoff shakes up and how it's rounded out points-wise, they probably need to win out to get in that postseason, or at least feel comfortable if you went out getting in there. But right now they're on the outside looking in, so they need to finish strong. But Bartram Trail in the playoffs, you just hope to do it as a district champion, and they continue that mastery over Creekside. They won 16 of 17 games after that 31-19 win last week.
Yeah, Bartram going to Gainesville to play Pujols, the team that ended their season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Justin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, Bartram won the regular season game last year, and they met again in the third round of the playoffs. Bartram went pretty handily in that regular season game. They go down to Gainesville in the third round of the playoffs. They go to here in the third round of the playoffs and lose 21-20. Ended a 12-0 season, and also the coaching career of Darryl Sutherland. So Buchholz is just a different monster. Bartram leads that series all time 7-6. But man, Buchholz is, even with a new coaching staff, even with Whittemore gone, they have continued to get it done. I think they're the best team in Region 1 4S. No disrespect to Bartram Trail, but I think Buchholz probably gets that one on Friday night or on Thursday night. They share a stadium with Gainesville High, so they got to alternate Thursday and Friday games. So that's a Thursday night game this week. But Bartram will still make the playoffs. You just hope to do it as a district champ. All 3 of Bartram's losses are to teams that are undefeated still in the season: Daytona Beach Mainland, IMG Academy, and St. Augustine. So that's no slouch of a schedule at all.
So, Justin, real quick, Ponte Vedra, is anyone playing better than them right now? I mean, they just destroyed DeCoy Creek.
Yeah, they are on a tear, and you got to look at that the week before. I mean, they put a number on Bishop Kenny, a 35-point running clocker, 55-20 in that game. And BK's a darn good team themselves. And Bartram Trail beat Ponte Vedra in week 1, 2017, but I'm not sure if they play that game in week 8 or 9 that Ponte Vedra doesn't win that game. They're playing so well. Their offensive line is good. They've remained pretty healthy. They've got a big tight end, Landon Hockla, who's caught the ball well. Then Burke is throwing ball extremely well. And the running back situation with Brian Case is remarkable. And he's got a great offensive line anchored by Michigan commit Jake Arnera. And I think Ponte Vedra, they are just on another level right now. And had Bartram not beat them, I'd have Ponte Vedra right in front of Bartram in the Super 10 rankings. But they are playing on fire. A lot of good St. Johns County teams this year, even more so than normal, I think.
You guys set me up perfectly. I was going to bring up 4 out of the 10 teams in your Super 10 on newsforjax.com, Justin, hail from St. Johns County. I know we talked about it last week or the week before. I think it's safe to say that's where the best football is being played, and yet sandwiched between a St. Johns County squad at number 1 and at number 3 is our good friends down in Bradford. The Bradford Tornadoes, 7-0. I don't think they're going to have much trouble the rest of the way. Do you, Justin?
Yeah, they lost in the finale last year to Swanee, and that game is on the schedule this year. They, I joke around and say a big story is, it's a high expectations kind of season in Stark this year. When the story of last week is they gave up 13 points to True North out of Miami in a 25-13 win, and that's a season high in points allowed for Bradford. By the way, they've not given up more than 7 in any game this year. They're just on another level. I think they're going to be a Final Four team, maybe even play for a championship. Jamie Rogers has got those guys clicking, and Alessandra's heading down there on Friday night to check out the Tornadoes. They got Lecanto on Friday night, and I think they are could even push St. Augustine for the title, best team in the area. They're just so good on that defensive side of the ball. Lots of studs on that side of the ball, and defense is where that team, that strength is rooted for Bradford.
All right, Jay Barn, before you go, one more game that you will have your eye on top of the ones we've mentioned.
Well, Oh man, it's a tough, bad week in terms of schedule wise. So I think you look at teams that are right on that playoff bubble. I think a Parker UC game, all not the sexiest matchup. UC cannot afford to slip up at all. I think if you're UC, you're looking at maybe a 5-5 regular season. You cannot give back any more, or else you kind of look at a potential of missing the playoffs. So that's a big one. The Bartram-Buchholz game, obviously the headliner, and that's on Thursday night. But I like Atlantic Coast at Range. That's a big one. Atlantic Coast and Step Durham have turned things around remarkably this year. They are in the hunt for a playoff spot. They probably have to win out or at least win 2 of their next 3 to get in that consideration. Also, Baldwin in that playoff mix as well. They're going to West Nassau team that is riding high at this point. So some good ones there. Not an exceptional week, but still some games worth watching.
I'm glad you noted that it's not too great of a slate, JB, because I know I had a couple people text me and be like, really, a bye this week of all the weeks? And I was like, if there was ever a week we were going to give ET and intern John O'Leary off, we figured this was a good one, especially knowing next week a jam-packed slate.
A ton of good games next week, but man, if this is one on the schedule that you could kind of hit fast forward or hit the snooze button, this week 9 schedule would be certainly the one. I don't blame you taking a week off there.
All right, dude, great stuff. We appreciate it, bro.
Take care. Thanks for having me.
At Justin Barney TV, news for Jax.com/sports. And before we
may have to do a double show next week.
Yeah,
all those big great games, huh?
Yeah, and it has to work its way around Florida, Georgia too. So there will be a lot of Thursday.
That's right.
Yeah, a lot of Thursday night games because of all the Friday festivities. All right, Gatorade, definitely the fuel, the preferred electrolyte replacer for high school athletes. You can find it at your local Winn-Dixie, and we want to award the Gatorade Player of the Week to the Baldwin running back. That's Denmark's bunch. Baldwin running back Nishan Jacobs, over 250 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns versus Westside.
Nice.
So good on him. And thanks as well to I-9 Sports. They bring you our weekly high school half hour. Don't forget, check them out. Enter that promo code 1010 for a discount, but they've got leagues and sports year-round. Let's say hello to the Frangie Show coming up next.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Sports sounds better on radio.
I love it. I love it.
You get the most live sports on 1010XL.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
W's and L's are what it's all about in football season, and you know you want to be a winner. Well, don't forget about calling Florida Home AC at 777-4300 before all your friends come over and that AC or heating unit conks out. You'll have that L on your forehead, and that sticks. Make sure your AC can handle the heat and invite the gang over for a win. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, with prompt and quick service to make sure you stay cool in the heat and warm in the winter.
Sunday's chore? Loading the Bud Light in the fridge. It's time for football. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello, you're on the air. If you miss an interview, you can hear it later on demand.
Listen whenever you want at 1010XL.com.
1010XL on demand. Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Win cash prizes at UnderdogFantasy.com. The best time of the year for blue crabs right now at the Blue Crab Crab House. They've been open since 1996, and they are a staple here in Duval. Sundays, you have the Bloody Mary specials, mimosas as well, $2.50 noon until 5 o'clock. Of course, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oysters. Right off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road, it is the Blue Crab Crab House.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Imagine your life without pain. Several months ago, I said yes to Yas, Dr. Mitchell Yas, and the Yas method for pain elimination. He focuses not on symptoms, but on the real source of your pain, which is usually a muscular imbalance or weakness. The Yas method uses personalized exercises that will bring lasting relief. It's not therapy, It's transformation. Discover your path to pain-free living with Dr. Yas and the Yas Method by calling 904-906-YASS and say yes to Yas.
Hey, Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg, president of Underwoods. Clayton, I've seen pearls advertised from under $100 well into the thousands of dollars. Help me understand that.
David, let me explain. First of all, there's several types of cultured pearls, and at Underwoods we carry all of them. They're the Chinese freshwater pearls that are grown in mussels, not oysters, and these are the least expensive. There are also Akoya pearls, which are the traditional Japanese cultured pearls that are grown in an oyster. Generally, these are the next most expensive. Then there are the Tahitian gray, black pearls and white South Sea pearls that are grown in larger oysters off the coast of Australia and Tahiti. These are generally the larger pearls and are more expensive than the other pearls. Once we know the type pearl we have, we begin the quality grading part that's essential to pricing. These are things like the pearl size, how round they are, the pearl's body color, its luster, surface blemishes, and how the pearls are matched with each other. This is where we use our expertise to make sure that our customers get the better quality pearls they expect from Underwoods at a fair price.
Even as prices seem higher on almost everything lately, you can count on Famous Quick Lube to still have the best price in town on quick oil change service. Visit any of their 13 locations, including the new shop on San Jose and now in Jax Beach. The Famous team will have your oil changed, tires rotated, and fluids topped off before you can finish your coffee. For fast, friendly service, personal VIP attention, and the best price in town, go to Famous Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All Star Sports Radio, celebrating their 30th year. Our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host, and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the 2-minute drill. Brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping the rubber on the road with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
We head to the SJC Island Wing Company in Bartram. Our man Hayes Carline, the embedded and shredded, ready to rock and roll. How are you, man?
I'm doing wonderful. We got a game tomorrow night, and it's always a thrill to be out here at Island Wing Company in Bartram. And we're fired up. We're going to have a great Frangie show. Frank is traveling, so he will not be with us, but Lauren and I will do our best to hold the fort down. We're going to have interviews with Brenton Strange and Rayshawn Jenkins coming up, as well as our State Farm College Football Report. And we believe Tate Casey from the Gator Network, talk a little Gators for our Woolsey Morecambe College Football Insider Report. So lots of fun stuff coming up this afternoon.
You're talking Tate Casey minus 23.5 Florida Gators is what you're saying. No,
that's a big. I don't think that line was ever that big in Georgia's direction when Mr. Casey was a football player on the team.
No, sir.
I don't think he ever had to deal with that. Yeah. So we're gonna have a lot of fun.
All right, real quick, your gut 27, 28 hours, whatever it is, away from kick tomorrow night.
I think Trevor's active and plays, but I think it's a sloppy game for the Jaguars. I just don't think the game sets up overly well for them. So I think the Saints win a close game, but I do think Trevor is going to give it a go, and hopefully he'll be able to be okay.
All right, we will be listening, my man, Hayes Carline, Lauren Brooks, as they are holed up at Island Wing Company. That will definitely be a place to be this afternoon and tomorrow night when they kick it off. Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
All right, they are out there in Bartram.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by G. Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
I was just going to note it, so I'll make it my takeaway. For those of you who saw Nathan Rourke get signed to the active roster in panic, yes, deep breaths. That doesn't mean that 16's not going to play. That means this goes into that third quarterback rule, where if they had just elevated him, he would have counted against the active players who can be active on game day. If he had just been elevated from the practice squad. Because of this, he will not count against that 48.
But gets signed, and at the very least gets a week's worth of pay.
Also that.
Yeah, which is
good for our Canadian friend.
Yeah, over 50 gur. That's pretty good. I love that. Takeaway?
50 gur is not bad.
No.
My takeaway is I agree with Carlin. I think Saints going to make this a dirty game. Not dirty like cheap dirty. I mean, it's going to be a dirty game. It's going to be a tough game to go in there, a loud place. Again, it's the NFL.
Yeah.
It's a short week. You're on the road. I see like a tough 17-9 loss, something like that. Just a dirty game.
9?
Right. Well, yeah. I think they're gonna struggle in this game.
I'm not gonna be at work till midnight for a 17-9 game. It better be better than that.
I'm hoping too, because you know what? This is my takeaway. There's trouble in the French Quarter. Okay, those Cajuns are restless, and Carr ain't delivering, and I do think there's some trouble there in the Crescent City. So we'll see where it goes as far as their offense is concerned. All right, we are out. Don't forget, make a note. Tomorrow night, if you're in the beach area, you want to hang out, Monkey's Uncle with Taylor Dahl, part of Helmets and Heels, part of everything that we do with 1010XL. She will be hosting a Bud Light watch party there tomorrow night. You got a chance to win tickets to a future Jaguar game, Bud Light swag, all sorts of fun, prizes every quarter, all that stuff. So make sure you mark it down. Join Taylor with the Bud Light watch party at Monkey's Uncle tomorrow night. We are out. Joe C., Mia O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Big Surse, and JJ. You got the Frangie Show coming up next.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with